So shock and groan, disobedience turned their hearts to stone. Rejected the truth, lost in the zone. Now they're paying rent in Hades' bone home. Both crackheads, no shelter in the night. Underworld gates, that eternal fright. Denials echo through torturous flight. Only face facts could have saved their plight. Lightning crack, no way back. Lost souls on brimstone track. Ignorance, gotta pay the toll. Zeus truth or face the dole. Charon's boats too full to float. Whales of the foolish on the underworld note. Denied Olympian decree, now they don't. Eternal chains, no antidote. Gods convene, truth unseen. Demigods whisper, lost souls scream. Follow the path or drown in the stream. Zeus wrath.
Greetings!
Echo loud, lost in sulfur, desperate proud. Zeus Olympus cloud, rejected truth, their fates avowed.
Go, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ, look at the time. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the time. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Tara, Mr. Incognito. Good morning, nice to see you. Hope you all had a very good time and enjoyed your Christmas. Let's go, Dolphin. Good morning.
No way back.
Hey.
Lost souls on brimstone track.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta pay the toll.
Let's go.
Or face the dole. Charon's boats too full to float.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. You know what we came to do, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We don't got much time. We're just going to get in and out. All right. I know a lot of us are so busy. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. All right. I hope you all are doing good. Isn't it an interesting week, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, my gosh. You know what we got to do. Number one, I don't know what you go by and where you ended up, but you might want to leave this live, all right? Because this is a safe space for you. I don't know what you're on, but you better get off of it. W Valentine in the chat. See, I didn't want to get started. I wanted to be a little nicer today. TikTok number one, Trophy Wife. Who are you talking to, Trophy Wife? Yes, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Queen, please. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Oh my goodness. It's early in the morning. I just woke up out my sleep. See, now we're gonna do something. I can do whatever I want. All right. I can do whatever I want. How about that, MAGA? How about that? Since you weren't acting right in the chat. Since you weren't acting right in the chat, I'll put Kamala Harris up there. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I'm your host, and I am your pilot, and you know exactly what we are here to do. Yeah, see, I didn't want to bring Kamala Harris out because guess what? She's the secret weapon, all right? Her and Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. I know exactly who the people in this country are that are saving America from somebody that arguably we all know should not be allowed to be president of these United States. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? So as far as I'm concerned, you know, Trump lost the 2020 election, but did he go away? Absolutely not. So Kamala Harris, please, if you're listening, please make sure the entire Trump presidency, you just tweet him and tweet at him and his followers. Do not fade away. All right. W. Kamala Harris. Same for you, Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. All right. Because we all know Kamala Harris really, she would have been a president for all Americans.
I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self.
Thank you.
To hold sacred America's fundamental principles, from the rule of law to free and fair elections to the peaceful transfer of power.
And as far as concerned, she won. She won. She won. As far as I'm concerned, she won. All right. Oh yeah, oh yeah, okay, okay. But a lot of you Trump supporters, you have no idea what you've gotten yourself in. I see you, trash bait. And by the way, trash bait, I can tell you are really in a state of misery. These people, ladies and gentlemen, can you believe Trump supporters? They like to say, "Well, Zeus, you were wrong." They say Zeus was wrong about the results of the election, and I stand on that. Yeah, I was wrong. I did not realize that we had so many special people in this country that would vote for a convicted felon and in their own worst interest. My spreadsheets were off, my numbers were off. All right, so I got the amount of people in this country that were just plumb uninformed. I got to keep it clean. So, to all of you Trump supporters, congratulations. You're getting exactly what you deserve. And many of them know exactly what they're getting. They're going to get a 1929 style depression, one like they've never seen in their lifetime. All right. Now, before we get into today's, let's get started. Here's the thing. If you are a Trump supporter and you do not like hearing the truth, guess what? You might want to leave this live because it's going to get ugly. All right. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Oh.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. So yeah, you can leave. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. What a Christmas treat. Mr. Trashbait. Yes.
Look at you in here lying again, my man.
What have I lied about? I haven't even gotten started with my content this morning.
You said.
Did you ever get that information? Well, yeah, she did. She did.
Said Kamala won. That's a lie.
Did. No. She actually did.
No, that's
you go look at the numbers. Go look at what was the results? What were the results? See, this is what I'm talking.
She lost the popular vote.
Mm-hmm.
She lost all 7 swing states. She lost everything, bro. Everything. She got the rolled.
And that's
rolled.
And you think that's a victory in your world? See,
Yes,
this is where
the only states that she won were states that you didn't need an ID to vote, bro.
Did you miss what I just said? I said you think Donald Trump is a victory for you still? Didn't you? Haven't you heard everything that I've been talking about post-election?
Nothing you say is the truth, though. Those are your opinions.
How about this? Your
opinions mean nothing to nobody.
Did you bring the tax returns I was asking you to bring? Because I'm really concerned about how you're running your business.
Bro, you don't know anything about business.
I know everything about your business. I know you're running.
You know nothing. You literally know nothing except for TikTok.
I know I got you on the ropes right now because here's the thing. I know when Trump does the mass deportation. Listen. I know Trump's mass deportations. They're going to bankrupt your business because either you're going to get exposed as the fraudster.
No.
So you got the tax returns on you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, when you get your tax returns, won't you?
I don't hire illegal immigrants.
What industry are you in?
You know what industry I am.
What is it?
You know what it is.
Construction, right?
Yes, I build houses. Yes.
Yeah. So, and we've gone over this, and I've asked you last time we talked if you could please bring the 1099s or proof that these people are really employees, and you will never do it. So I was right. I know what you're doing.
You're never
right.
right.
I know what you're doing.
You are never right.
How many people in here think this guest right here is working with people who might be undocumented? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe.
You literally have a hoe behind your head.
Oh, see. And so what I'll do, ladies and gentlemen, and that right there, that's enough. That's from a demon. That's a certified MAGA demon. And look at these. Look at all these people in the chat. Trash bait. Everyone in here knows what you're doing. You're running a fraudulent business. All right. And you know it, and that's why you'll never bring your tax returns to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start this show off by sending the first MAGA demon straight into the lake of fire. He runs businesses like his cult leader does, and we know what he does. He commits fraud, right? Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a huge, huge round of booze and shame. That didn't take long. That didn't take long.
Silence, you
There's not a Trump supporter out here that can actually convince me that they are on the up and up when it comes to running their businesses. Good morning, Miss Morningstar. All right. I mean, yeah, the IRS is definitely coming for them. You see how quickly it went from, oh, Kamala lost to, well, Zeus, I'm not doing that. I'm not fudging the numbers. I'm not employing people here who are undocumented. I asked them last time, I said, sir, bring us proof that these people are our employees or just zip it. No one believes you. All right? WT in the chat. Construction, wait, look at this. Construction is mostly done by cheap labor, which are illegal immigration. Yeah, they know this. But yet they want to continue to get out here and lie to themselves. It's one thing when you lie to us, but it's another thing when you actually start to believe your lies. You know what I want to do? Speaking of what he brought up, let's go ahead and listen to our good friend Lawrence O'Donnell. I want people to understand that Donald Trump does not, and I repeat this, he does not have a mandate. WZPOC in the chat. Could we offset terrorists with force-free labor of homeless migrants and others arrested? What the heck does that even mean? You, me, what does this mean? You, me, game on. What are you talking about in my chat? It sounds to me like you're trying to run some sort of crime-ridden country. If you want to do what you're describing, do me a huge favor and go to Russia. All right, we don't got time to play games. We have a United States Constitution.
Election, we now know that once again Donald Trump did not win a majority of the vote.
You hear that, trash bait? He did not win a majority of the vote. So as far as I'm concerned, he lost, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Donald Trump another round of booze and shame. It's easy. He didn't win it. You guys got to learn.
Silence.
You got to learn this.
Daily.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
Cook Political Report tells us Donald Trump captured about 77.3 million votes, 49.8%, to Kamala Harris's 75 million votes, 48.3%.
A little bit.
1.5% winning margin for Donald Trump. Another 1.7% of the vote went to other candidates, with almost 3 million people voting for other candidates for president. And so once again, most American voters voted against Donald Trump.
Did you hear that, Trump supporters? Most American voters voted against you, voted against your cult leader. So when they get around here and they start acting like there's some sort of big shots out here, absolutely not. You're all a bunch of losers and you know it. And guess what? Like I've been telling you, we're all, you, especially you, all right, who lives on a fixed income, and you know exactly who you are. You live on that fixed income. You probably have two sources of, you got to shop at places possibly that, people with that type of income have to shop at. You're heading towards a 1929 style depression, and you don't even understand this.
In the end, the 2024 election was decided by 229,766 votes across Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Joe Biden's record high vote count in 2020 of 81 million votes for president remains the most votes ever won by a presidential candidate in American history. Of course.
Thank you, Joe Biden. See, Trump supporters don't like hearing truth. But you got to understand, Joe Biden actually got more of a victory than Donald Trump did, all right?
The number of voters constantly increases as the population increases over time. And so former presidents who actually won in huge landslides like Ronald Reagan, Lyndon Johnson, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt couldn't possibly have won as many votes as even losing candidates do now, because of the voting population at that time was so much smaller. Post-election polls showed voters in conflict with themselves.
Here it goes.
79% of voters said lowering prices of goods and services was their top priority.
W. Rick in the chat. W. Rick. So 79% of the voters said lowering prices for goods and services was a priority. But that doesn't make sense, right?
They favored new tariffs on goods imported from other countries. 59% of voters said that new tariffs on goods from other countries would generally make the prices of the things they buy higher.
Wow.
The Congressional Budget Office agrees with those 59% of voters who said new tariffs will increase prices. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the new tariffs Donald Trump has proposed would cost American families an average of $1,560 a year.
Did you hear that, you Trump supporters? The new tariffs that Donald Trump is talking about implementing, $1,560 added to your bottom line. And that's just the beginning. Do you really, honestly, still feel like you're winning? This is why education, as far as I'm concerned, is very, very important. It's clear that a lot of you don't understand. You're not making a lot of sense out there. No. You, me, game on. No, you're not doing no offsetting. That's not what Trump is all about. Trump is not about balancing the budget. Oh, somebody said that I'm not educating anybody. I'm gaslighting. David, you want to? Didn't I've talked to you before, David? Well,
Yes, Zeus. Yes, Zeus.
Yeah,
We have spoken before.
yeah. Okay, so when you put stuff like that in my chat, it just makes me think you're not listening. And
No, I listened. I actually, again, just because we have political differences, I actually do listen to you. I'm not biased like you.
okay, so you're doing that thing that I used to do to my mom, right? I did hear what you said, but you're not really processing the
No,
information.
no,
I know
you,
that trick too. I know
no.
that trick
Basically, what
too.
you do is that you don't want to have intellectual discussions. What you want to do is rile up your base for the next 4 years and do hypotheticals on immigration because that's all you have at this point. Because the reality of the situation is that Trump won the election. If he didn't win the popular vote, if he didn't win the electoral, then he wouldn't be getting elected. He wouldn't be getting a peaceful transfer of power. So you have to go back
Didn't you
into the
just hear the
history, this, that,
information?
and the third.
The
But the
majority
reality
of
of the
Americans didn't vote for him. Did you catch that? There's the people that were in the middle undecided, they didn't vote for him, and then you mix that with the people who voted for Kamala. He didn't get the popular vote like you're all out here trying to say.
even if that
I'm trying to help you understand the world you're living in. I don't want you to walk around anymore thinking you can walk around with your chest all puffed out and your Johnson swinging, thinking that, hey, we can do whatever we want to do. It's not that type of party. That's all I'm trying to help you understand, sir. Nobody wants to see what you all are craving for, except for you. So we're going to sit
Nobody,
here.
right? That's why he won the election, right?
So think
The
about it.
reality situation in every
He
economical
still
and
doesn't
every
get it.
standpoint, Trump has did better. We had a 4 year sample size of Trump. We had a 4 year sample size of Biden. I voted for Biden. So it's not like I have this incredible bias. No, I saw 4 years of him destroying the country,
You're talking about
destroying
Trump.
hiring everything. If you actually look, the poverty rate actually increased while Biden was in office.
Well,
While from
that's
2016 to
say
2020.
well. There's more to that. There's nuance to that. There's the American Rescue Plan that he implemented that the
Yeah,
Republicans wouldn't
that
renew.
caused more inflation.
No. It actually brought childhood poverty down to record lows. I'm talking numbers you've never seen before. Again, when Biden did all these things to help Americans, where were you? Where were you, David, when we got the
was
vaccines
surprised.
in the
I was
arms of
surprised.
American? Huh?
You can't even admit Biden's cognitive decline. You couldn't
No.
even they admit that they lied for that for 4 years
You don't.
until the
No,
debate happened,
David,
and then they
David.
crowned Queen Kamala.
David, if we're talking cognitive decline, you know what that opens up. And I would encourage you to stay away from the cognitive decline stuff because Donald Trump's cognitive abilities, I don't think you want to open up that can of worms, bro. Because you know where
I
I'm
mean,
going.
so why
Where
did
am
the
I
Wall
going?
Street
Where am
why
I
did the
going,
Wall Street
David?
Journal why did the Wall Street Journal talk about and document Biden's cognitive decline and that the Democrat Party
Trying
was
trying to
his
sell.
cognitive decline? Why would
It's
the
what
Wall
I
Street
call
Journal say that?
it's clickbait. It's clickable information. It's stuff that'll help people
Right,
like
just
you
like you
think
do
that
with your
president.
you clickbait, but you don't really have actually stats or information.
I just gave you stats and information. We told you that Donald Trump really only got 1.2% of the popular.
No,
He only won by
looking at the
1.2%.
numbers right now. Regardless, this is how election works, right?
You don't know what you're
First of
talking
all,
about.
the Democrat Party did not lose the popular vote since 2004. That's how bad your candidate is. That's how bad your candidate was. So you can say this, that, and the third, but the facts
David.
are that she's the first since 2004 to lose the popular vote. Al Gore didn't even do that.
David,
Al Gore didn't even do that. She lost electoral and popular. That's how bad she was.
David, I would actually say, you know what, you have a point, but I think you're still missing the serious issue, a very, very serious issue here. How on earth did a bunch of people in this country, and you believe America's one of the greatest countries, right, on the planet?
I surely do. I've been around third world countries. My parents are from third world countries. My aunts and uncles are from third world countries. So I haven't been all around the world, but I've been in certain places where I understand how privileged I am to be an American. Yes.
When you say part of what makes America a great country are the people in the country.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, that's subjective. But our democratic
David,
although not perfect, yes, it is. It's pretty dope.
It's the people. It's we the people.
Yes, the republic and the democracy.
You call it whatever you want, David. All right, I'm trying to get you to open.
There's a difference between. I know what a republic is.
No, you don't. No.
I do.
No. So let me finish what I'm trying to.
Apparently, Kamala doesn't, because a republic is when the people, the civilians, vote for the Democratic candidate. That didn't happen this time around, did they?
David,
they went to the playoffs, went to the Super Bowl and lost. That's what happened.
David, I'm trying to at least make this make sense for you. You know that what makes America a great country are the people, correct?
Right.
You and I and everyone else in this country,
I agree.
What we stand for and what we don't stand for, that's kind of the name of the business that we're running over here. And other countries try it, but they just don't have the ability to do it the way that we do it here in the United States.
Democracy.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. So now I'm listening to what the people who voted for Donald Trump said, and these are people who are supposedly
those are Americans.
I have a different way of looking at it, and what I can't wrap my
biased perspective. You have a biased perspective, but the reality situation is that Trump is going to get inaugurated because we have a democratic system.
So can I finish what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
So you have Americans in this country, so-called Americans. How about that? I'll be nice. That somehow there is a lack of understanding or delusion going on, or some sort of cult thing, because I don't understand how you can say things that directly contradict with each other. You get what I'm saying? Like,
such as,
I want cheaper eggs. I want grocery prices to go down. Right? Those are things I've heard.
Right.
But you vote for someone that is saying they're going to do those things, but when you listen and actually track what their policies are behind them trying to do it, it actually is the exact opposite.
So again, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't look into the future. So all I can go off is the data of Trump's 4 years and Biden's 4 years.
But David, have you ever sat down in the classroom and had to listen to a lecture or maybe even do a test?
I have my bachelor's degree, sir. Yes, I do.
Okay. So say
society, I'm quite educated.
Okay, so say you say I need to.
GPA.
So you have a what?
3.8 GPA.
Oh,
society, bachelor's.
Oh, so you're one of these learned ones.
What do you mean these learns? What do you mean these learned?
You're one of these people that has some learning and understanding about yourself. You have the ability to comprehend.
Made to groom liberals. What are you talking about?
What?
The college system is more so made to groom liberals. What are you talking about?
Wait a sec. But you're a product of the college system, according to what you just said.
Right, and I deviated because I have critical thinking.
David. Okay, and what you just did right there is exactly the problem with this country. You benefited from going to college, but the college is the problem at the same time.
I had to pay a lot of money to get there. They benefited from me. What
are you working?
About? Yes.
What industry are you working in?
I'm an audio engineer. I get paid $38 to $40 an hour. I go to schools and I do their sound systems.
Okay.
I do their sound systems.
So even worse, you go to schools, the liberal schools, and you take their money. See how you get caught up?
I don't take their money. I have to pay for my college.
But didn't you say you install audios at these schools?
Yes.
Okay, then. So you're getting paid.
Because I earned that by merit, because of my degree. It wasn't easy.
Okay, David, this is the problem in this country, and I'm trying to be as simple as I can with you. You are benefiting from all these liberal things, and you can't seem to process that. The same college that educated you, that allowed for you to actually be able to get a career and go out and make money from liberal institutions.
That's capitalism. That's a product of capitalism.
You spend your time demonizing it, and possibly I'll go even one step further. You probably wouldn't even gotten that job if it didn't happen. If it wasn't for if it wasn't if it wasn't for DEI related implementation going on in this country.
No, that's not true. I worked my butt off. I got my college degree. It was a drought for about 2 years. I finally got a job that was good, decent paying. And then that's when I actually started seeing how money works. And
I'll get you. When did you get the job, David? I know
around mid 2023 ish, mid 2023.
And who was the president when you got that job?
Biden. But
thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Joe Biden.
Has nothing to do. I earned that with my college degree.
No,
I don't know if I beat out people or anything like that, but I earned my college degree, and then I finally got hired.
David,
I submitted hundreds of applications.
Didn't I just say thank you, Joe Biden? You should thank him, because had he not helped,
the unemployment rate
it got to its record low under
Biden. What are you talking about?
No,
I have the stats right here.
No, it actually was lower under President Biden, and that doesn't include bounce back jobs. See, so David Cruz, is it all right if I refer to you as that, David?
800,000 manufacturing jobs that they lied and they had to rescind. That wasn't nothing. Actually, unemployment actually got
David.
Under, I have the graph right here. I have the numbers right here.
Show us.
I don't just biasly say.
No, David, you're an educated person. You got some. You're learned. If you could, please show us the graphs, and I'll help you.
Learned is not a word, but go ahead.
No. It is actually a word. Now go ahead and show us the graph. Oh, okay. Well, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not the one who went to a liberal institution like you did. All right. So please show us the graph, genius.
Oh, so we want to go into graphs? Absolutely. So before we get into graphs, because I have all the numbers right here, we'll check unemployment because I have that graph too. So while Biden was in office, electricity went up 25%, auto insurance went up 33%, used cars went up 35%, hotels went up 15%, groceries went up 25%, rent increased by 30%, mortgage rates not only doubled, they went up 133%. Interest rates from from Trump, which was at regular like 4%, went all the way to 8% under Biden. That's insane. Mind you, like
David,
I voted blue my whole entire life.
David, where'd you get that? David, where the heck did you get that information from?
U.S. Census Bureau.
All right, now could you tell us what's going on with the ruble in Russia right now? Could you tell me what the current interest rate is and what the inflation? No. Just if you don't mind, since we're having an educated conversation about inflation. Please look up the GDP in Russia, what the ruble's trading for, and what the trending has been for the ruble, and give us the actual information about their. I said inflation, and what did I? There was the other one that I wanted. You know what I need. Go ahead and get it over there in Russia, please. If you don't,
that I would have to actually look at.
It's a quick thing.
I don't have that information. We can Google it together.
Well,
but I do understand that.
Yeah, I said GDP. I said GDP for Russia. Yeah, look at GDP. Look at Russia's GDP. All right. So I want to compare Russia's GDP.
Ukraine war.
No, I'm trying to see, David. I'm just trying to get an understanding. Is Joe Biden better at running a country, or is Putin better at running a country? Because I would imagine in Russia there is no inflation, and the ruble is actually becoming more and more valuable, right? And interest rates, right? You know what interest rates are. I would imagine they're perfect. So could you please get us the information on what's happening with the Russian
Actually, I'm
economy?
looking at it right now. Ironically, since First of all, we're talking about America, not Russia. But actually,
but it's Joe Biden's inflation.
Russia's GDP actually went higher.
Okay,
is crazy?
Is it Joe?
It actually went higher. I'm looking at it right now from 2020 and up. Actually rose because Biden sanctioned Russia and they became more dependent. They cozied up with China. They cozied up with our enemies that are more competitive. They actually went up.
David, there's people.
What's your point here?
David,
do I have to show you the graph?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask
I will.
for. Okay, thank you.
I will. Okay. I'm about, like coming up right now. Coming up right now. Let's see. All right. So ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Here you go. So Russia under Biden actually got higher. So look it. So I put Russia's GDP, right?
Mm-hmm.
In USD dollars, it actually went. So here's 2020.
Yeah.
It actually went
Time out.
up.
Time out. Time out. Hold
It
on. Hold
actually,
on. Hold
it
on.
actually
David.
went
David.
up.
David. Hold on. Am I the only one? But does anyone else see what David's talking about in the box? Because I don't see it. Does anyone else see it? Because maybe it's my
I will
app.
slow down. I will slow down.
May-
I put in Russia's GDP.
Okay, no, David,
That's what I
David. We
Googled.
have some technical difficulties. We just wanted to see your graph that you claim you had. So maybe it's working
I
on your side, but we're not seeing it here. Look at all these people saying no. So
You're not.
so use the green
Okay. Then
screen.
we can work through that. We can work through that. But I have other graphs here. I have other. Can you see that graph
No,
of the U.S. wages?
no. This is the thing, David. You claim you went to school and you learned it. You're a learned person, but we're struggling
Learned
with
it.
some of the.
Learned it is not a
Yeah.
word. Can you see me, Zeus? Can you see me? Can you see me?
No.
Okay. I don't see. So here's what I'm gonna. I'll disconnect. I'll go. I see. I turned on my camera, and for some reason. All right. Can you? Okay.
I know that.
Save. Hold on. Boom.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Now. Okay, finally, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Chris. Like you have already seen me in person. You already seen me face to face. Usually I don't like
Now,
camming up. But, I'm a cute dude, so it doesn't really bother me. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about the GDP, but
wait,
let's go to
wait.
US's.
Oh, see, now he turning the camera off. No, I want to see the man. I want to see
I'm not. I'm
when
not.
you
I'm
start
not.
lying.
Can you see me? Can you see me? Can
Yeah,
you
I
see me?
can't.
Zeus, can you see me?
Sorry, Mom. He's not handsome. He lied, and you know what happened when we were younger, Mom.
All
He'd
right.
get a
All
whooping
right.
for
All right.
lying. So
But
don't,
Zeus, the important thing is, can you
please
see
don't
me
get
so
up
I
here
can
and
show you
start.
my laptop?
No, just put the green. Okay, show us the laptop, please. Whatever you got. Whatever you
But can
got
you
that's
see?
creating this monster. Whatever information is
Okay.
creating this monster, please show us
So
this
with
information.
that being said, Zeus, can you actually see you actually see me came up so I can flip my camera? Can you see that? Because we're having technical difficulties. Let's address that situation first.
I
Because
see
we're looking
you.
up data and information, right?
I see you. Oh, but
So
now
look
I
at
don't
look
see
at
you.
US.
Jesus Christ. Come on, bro. Jesus Christ. Has anyone this it's taking you way too long to let us know what's radicalizing you.
Look at
Okay.
US. So before I just Google. So look at U.S. Wages under
Oh.
Trump and then under Biden.
Okay.
See that? See that chat?
Now
Trump
hold on. Okay,
see
okay.
Biden.
Yeah.
All right, but we were talking about Russia. We were talking about Russia. Peep, peep.
Wait.
I said
Go
Russia.
back to the wages of the United States. Tell me what that
Okay,
means to
but
you.
we
No,
want to get to
explain.
Russia's GDP. I googled that for you.
No.
Me personally, I don't really care about Russia, but
what
ironically, look, 2020.
this
Guess
guy
who
looks at
went up?
line.
Guess who went up? Ironically enough, once Biden got in office, Russia's GDP went up.
Oh, thank you, Joe Biden, right?
Why would I want Russia's GDP to go up
Oh, wait, so
while our wages went down?
okay. So let me
We're
see.
talking numbers now. I know
Okay,
you don't
so
like that.
no,
We're talking stats
no.
now.
I'm looking at this. So no, now why did it? It looks like it started going down when and with Joe Biden. What can you hover over it and give us an
I will flip
exact
it again.
date?
I will
No,
flip it again. So
no.
everybody, 2020, 20. So you
Can
see
you? I
around
was talking
2016.
about the United States, bro. Go back there and let me walk through the
Okay.
graph myself. I don't need you to fill it up with fluff.
Zeus, it's damning. It's damning. It's damning. I
Jesus
actually looked
Christ.
this stuff up. It is damning. We can go. Here's the thing. I know I got limited time because once
No,
I
no.
start cooking you and I have you under the ropes, that's when you disconnect me. But it's gonna be
No,
damning.
no.
You wanna do that?
I'm feeling like we're getting somewhere. Stay right there. All right.
Zeus, are
Yeah.
you sure you want to do that? So
Yeah.
So here's it. U.S. wages, average weekly earnings adjusted for inflation. So we're gonna look at 2016, right? From 2020, right?
Hold on.
Trump. Look at that. Look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay.
Look at that.
Now what
And then
happened?
once Biden hit. Yo, I'm not making this up. It's U.S. wages.
Hold on.
US wages adjusted for inflation.
Hold on. This is a very, very quick thing. I'm trying to pull it up on my end. Bear with me. See, I
And this is
can't
according
find
to
that. I
BBC.
can't.
BBC doesn't
Why
like
can't I
Trump.
find
You don't
this
know that.
graph? Why
You know
why
how
can't I?
liberal BBC is.
Wait. Why can't I find this information that you're citing? Or this? Let me do it this way.
But I have. You can't because you haven't done you haven't done the research. But
No,
I
no, no,
have.
no, no,
I
no, no,
have.
no, 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 no.
That's why I'm
Hold
gonna show
on.
you that instead of what we subjectively think, I'm just gonna
Hold
show you
on.
what the numbers say. Zeus.
Hold on.
I'm just gonna show
Hold
you
on.
because we might have biased opinions. Actually, I don't have a bias because I actually used to I mean, I still am technically Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Like again, I go for who's the best candidate.
Hold on.
I go for who's the best. But look at
Hold on.
unemployment.
Hold
No,
on.
no, no, hold on. I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire. Look at unemployment. Look at
Hold on.
unemployment when Biden.
David, hold on. I got you right where I want you. Now, I brought my good friend Val up here. Val, how are you doing this morning,
How's it
bro?
going?
All right, all right.
So wage
You
growth and GDP, and what he's trying to do is statistic the numbers based on inflation, and then whose inflation are we basing this off of? Whose statistics on inflation are we basing this off
our
of? That's
American
going to be
dollar.
the key, right?
Very accurate. Our American dollar.
There's a lot of
Very
ways
accurate.
to skew those numbers, David, but you're going to lose this argument in the end, buddy. Because the truth of the matter is, when it came to inflation, you have to understand why inflation took place. Inflation was a worldwide event, okay? And that worldwide event affected every country. So inflation was due to supply chain issues. And when you have supply chain issues in every country, you can't get products or goods. Therefore, inflation is going to go up. Now, your housing inflation, if you add in housing inflation, and if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine, sir. You can do that. But you have to understand what caused housing inflation. Now, whose administration deregulated?
Yep. Went up 8%.
Sir,
I got
whose
that.
administration?
W Val.
I got that too.
Hold on.
So basically, chat, what he's
Whose
saying is
administration
don't believe the
deregulated
numbers.
the housing
Don't believe the
industry,
number.
sir?
David.
This is not what I said. I've already done the research.
David.
I've already
No, you
done the
haven't.
research. Don't believe your eyes.
No, you haven't.
Don't believe your eyes.
You haven't
Don't
done any
believe
research,
that
sir.
poverty actually went
You
up
haven't
during
done any
Biden.
research
Don't
because
believe
you
that
won't
U.S.
answer the
wages
question
and
because you don't like
unemployment.
the answer.
David, hold on, David. Hold on. We're gonna get answers.
Don't believe any of that. Don't believe any of that.
Really?
David, whose administration deregulated housing?
Oh, that's a good thing. Deregulation is a good thing. Why do you think
Deregulation serves the reason housing prices shot through the roof.
Why do you
Now,
think
who could
all
now?
these capitalists
Hold on, David.
are
Hold on,
glad
David.
that he's back in
David,
office? Why
hold
do you think
on.
Mark
David,
Zuckerberg
David.
Put tariffs
Because
on
deregulation is not
lumber and steel
necessarily
out
a
of
bad
Canada.
thing. It's actually a good thing.
David. Remember,
When you
David.
chokehold capitalism to this
David,
eco-friendly green
Jesus
stuff,
Christ.
which I don't have a problem with. I believe in climate change. Which is one of the reasons why I used to be Democrat.
Jesus Christ. Hold on. Jesus Christ, David. Listen. Remember, you're winning right now, David. When you're winning, you don't have to act like you're losing, all right? Now, Val is having a conversation with you. And while listen, David, no. Well, what it means is I want to get to the information. I want to get to the facts. You brought graphs up here, all right? Now, I'm looking it up over here, all right? Because now you got my attention. But in the meantime, please, you see Val knows how to just kind of talk. That's why is this so difficult? If you really got the data and you're happy, you good. Just stay there.
And sir, what was the wage growth in 2024? Since you know the statistics.
Well, David, we can't hear you. Hold on. Maybe because TikTok is glitching up for a second. Unmute, Dave. David.
I was looking at that. Hold on. Let me look at my
I'll
graph
already
again,
answer it
to
for you,
see
sir.
what
It was
exactly
3.9%.
So 2024, the Jerome Powell. So it might have went up because Jerome Powell did lower
3.9%, sir.
the rates.
David, come on, man.
It might have went up.
David, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're doing all that talking, bro. I'm trying to actually learn. Is that okay with you, or you just want to come up here and just do your little shtick?
Hey, I'm muted. I'm muted,
Okay,
and I
okay.
said
Well,
that
well, Val was
it might
saying.
have went up.
Did you
It
hear?
might have went up. I just was at U.S. wages. It
Okay,
might have went up slightly because Jerome Powell did lower the Fed rates at the
okay.
at the end of the
Sir,
year.
why did the Fed
So
rates go up?
that is going to
What do you
that
do?
is
What do you
going to
do when there's
promote
a
that
possible
is going to
recession,
promote.
sir? What do you do in
Say
a
what?
trending a downfall of economy, sir? You said you went to college. You had an economics degree of some sort. What do
No, I
you
didn't. I
do?
didn't. You don't even listen.
Okay.
I never said I
So
had an
what?
even.
So you went to college. You took an economics course. What happens when there's
Sir,
a
we're looking at it
recessionary
right now.
period? What
We're looking at
happens?
it. It was
What
about
happens, David?
368 in June
David.
of 2024.
David.
David, what
I'm answering his
happens?
question. It
No,
did
you're
slightly
not,
go up.
bro. No, you're. People are listening to this conversation, and why is it so hard for us to get through this without you just
Because of
rambling?
lack of education and the proof and the pride of I have to be
Val,
right.
you asked me to answer your question.
You didn't answer it, David. You
What was
pulled
the
up a bunch
wages
of numbers that are
in
skewed by
GDP? It's
statistics that without
$368. I
any
have the notes.
cause or
I
effect
have
of
my
those
information
statistics
right
that
here.
created them. Okay, that is called skewing the numbers, sir. I can
Oh
go
my
out and
gosh,
grab all
everything's skewed.
kinds of skewed numbers, but
Yep,
that is
yep.
not how it works. What creates? Why does the Fed raise rates in an inflationary period?
He actually lowered it. He actually lowered it.
No,
Jerome
during
Powell
the
actually in
inflationary period, the
September
rates
because I
went
look
up,
at
sir,
stocks
from from the end of 2020 all
because
the
I
way
look
through
at stocks. So it's something
2023. The
very
rates
important that I looked
raised.
at that he actually
Wait a
lowered it in
second.
September.
Wait. Okay, so it says real wages grew throughout Trump's first 3 years in office, which matches your graph, continuing a steady upward trend, which began during the first of President Obama's 2 terms.
Zeus, you're just proving my
Wow.
point.
This is
Zeus, you're just
according to the
proving my
Bureau
point,
of
Zeus.
Labor.
Labor and
David,
statistics. Yeah.
David, I knew I would get see. People give me things, I just don't sometimes react to it. I got to go and do my own research. So you left that piece out. Why?
I voted for Obama.
Why
I
you?
didn't have a problem with Obama. Why are you going back to Obama?
You
It
didn't.
did.
You
It was
should.
going
You're
up.
selling it
It
like
was
Trump.
going up.
You
It was going up. Look right
no.
here. I
You're
never
selling
disputed
it.
Obama was a bad president.
You're
That's not what
selling.
we're talking
No,
about.
you're selling it
I
like
could have
it.
told you that. I have the graph right here. I have the graph right here. And Val, you're saying I'm uneducated, whether I'm uneducated or not. I have the
You're
graph right
uneducated in
here
this
so we can
subject,
all
sir. I promise
analyze.
you
So
are.
the whole public can see. The GDP was at 368.
So
Yes, did it
GDP is
slightly go
growth.
up?
We
I
actually
said
have a
that
higher
because
GDP now.
because
See,
Jerome
anything that
Powell,
shows
the
we have a lower
inflation
GDP, sir, is wrong.
rate
That's
went
a
down.
bad stat. Here, let me give you the actual GDP.
Okay. Basically, chat. What is essentially what he's saying is that I could do all the research. I can cross-examine. I can
David,
cross-correlate. Essentially everything's skewed. Everything's skewed
David,
apparently.
David. You know when people start doing that to me and they start trying to sell me stuff that really isn't what it looks like, I start to question the morals and integrity. Now,
What do you mean? You just
when I came, listen, you ignored Obama's contributions to that graph. You're shopping it around like it's the hottest thing on the block. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You shopping that graph around like it's A1 work. And then you don't sell it like, hey, this really is Obama's hands in the kitchen cooking this. This isn't really Donald Trump's. You're selling this like this is all Donald Trump's doing. And I have a problem with that.
No, I
I,
didn't. No, I didn't. We weren't talking about Obama. No, I didn't.
I have a problem with that, David.
No, I didn't.
You're not
We weren't
answering.
talking about
You're
Obama.
not answering.
No,
You're not
saying
answering
that I
Val's.
ignored.
You're not answering Val's questions. Val's asking you very pointed questions. That's why I brought him up here because he follows this stuff a lot way better than I did.
The last question that Val asked me is what was the U.S. wages in 2024, and I said I had to look at my
I
notes. It
don't
was
recall ever asking
$368
that
as of
question.
June 2024.
I never asked that question.
What other question did you have for me, Val? What other question
I
did you have?
asked you, my last question to you is why do rates go up in an inflationary period?
Now, David, repeat
Well,
the question.
David,
Can you repeat David, can you just repeat the question so we all know you actually heard the question?
He says, "Why do inflation rates go up during a downturn
No, an
or a bad
inflationary
or
period.
an inflationary period?" Right, right,
Okay.
right. So
Thank you, David. Now answer, please.
yeah, I heard him. I paraphrased. I heard him again, Val. I'm not. Here's the thing, Zeus. You think it's a thing about winning or losing? I don't care. I really don't
No,
care
sir.
about that.
It
What I
matters to
care about is
everybody down
critical
below because
thinking.
when
What
people
I
like
care
you come
about
up
is
here and
critical
try to give
thinking and who is
economic
the better
stats
and
with
best
no real
candidate.
economic
Even though the
data, it
American people
actually hurts
spoke,
the entire
you guys,
country.
you guys don't want you
David,
guys don't want to admit it. But go ahead, Val.
David, it's not, to your point, right? It's really not about, at this point, winning or losing. It's really about getting the facts out and getting it correct, right? So if I don't feel like I'm able to confidently answer a question, you see what I did. I dialed it back and I said, "Where'd you get it from?" You showed me it after a while, and then I'm up here and I'm reading it. That to me is what it takes to learn. So some of us are here listening to this conversation, and yeah, part of the learning means you got to exchange ideas with me. You got to exchange your ideas with Val. But ultimately, we should get to a place of facts being what stand, not just people saying random
I'm
things.
listening to you, Zeus. You see, I'm not cutting you off. I'm listening. I'm listening
Yeah,
to you.
so, but now I wanted you to answer some of the questions Val is asking for, because now the conversation has gotten to a place where I'm curious. So could you at least either answer Val's questions or honestly say, "I have no clue. I need to look it up"?
Okay, so Val's first question, well, he answered. There's two questions he asked me. There's two questions he asked me.
No,
There's
only
two
asked you
questions
one.
he asked me. The first, the first one is what was U.S. wages GDP? What was GDP in 2024? Again, I just looked it up for everybody to see. As of June 2024, it was about 368. Did it go up a little bit? Bloop. Just yes, it did
What'd
go
you
up
say
a
it was,
little bit
sir?
around September when Jerome Powell
No,
lowered
sir.
the interest
Sir,
rates.
what'd you say it was again?
It was about $368 as of June 2024.
$368, sir. It is
Weekly earnings, average weekly earnings.
29.37 trillion.
Okay, I'm talking
29.37
about average
trillion
weekly
is the
earnings. It's different.
GDP,
I'm
sir.
talking about average weekly earnings. So this is a
Sir, I'm not
consensus. This is
talking
the
about
average
earnings,
of
sir. You
Americans.
said GDP.
Dave,
GDP is 29.37 trillion as of the 19th of December. Okay. It is also that is also a 5.03% increase, which is one of the largest increases in our GDP in history. Now, that is a 3.1 annual increase in total GDP, sir. That has
That's
been
just
a
making up.
continuation of the
That's just
Biden
referring to the pandemic.
administration through
That's just
his
making up for the
entire
pandemic.
administration since 2022, sir. So again, what?
Again, so you just said, oh, there's a supply shortage, is this, that, and the thing. Yes, but that's because we were just recovering from a pandemic. That's the reason why even with the job numbers, and I look at that,
hold on.
even
David, if you
hold
don't,
on. Let
okay.
me finish my sentence. Even with the job numbers, the reason why it bounced so high is because it was just recovering what it used to have
You
not
still
too
haven't
long
answered
ago.
the question. You've
Now,
managed
hold
to
on,
wiggle
slow
your
down.
way
Hold
out
on,
of the
hold on, hold on,
question
hold on,
again,
hold on.
David.
Hold on. Because you gotta let me finish my
You've
sentence. Then I'll stop
managed to
talking.
wiggle your way out of the question again, David.
No, I
Why
didn't. No, I
do
didn't.
you raise and increase loan? You know what I'm saying? Why do you do that? Why do you increase debt on loans when you're trying to deal with an inflationary economy?
Well, there's a number of
No,
Well,
there's
factors.
only one.
No, there's plenty
There's
of factors.
only one.
There's plenty of factors. There's the
There's
stock market,
only one.
how the economy is doing,
You do it, sir. You do it to reduce debt.
right. So
Okay.
there's a
When you
number of
reduce debt,
hold on.
during
There's a
C19,
number.
at the end of
David,
C19, that there was a global economic inflation. Global economic inflation. The Fed did what the Fed does. Okay. It raised rates to deal with debt
To offset it,
to
yes,
lower
right.
inflation.
now, David, what I appreciate honestly is you're sticking in this fight and you're still trying to fight it. But to
I'm not
me,
fighting you, Zeus. I'm not trying to fight you or
no,
Val.
let me finish what I'm saying, because
Go ahead.
it's when you're in a space and your beliefs are being challenged, people genuinely they tend to react just like you do, right?
I
It's
welcome
very
that. I don't have a problem with that. I welcome that. Go ahead.
it's very defensive, but we can't teach you if you're continuing to fight us when we're just giving you information. This is the part of the exercise that I'm trying to work with you on. By the way, W Val in the chat. Now, I'll be honest with you, because you know me, I am Triple H, and one of the H's is the most honest. If I'm in spaces like we start wiggling and getting into this economy and we start talking about things that I don't really feel like I really understand, I have no problem pausing it and saying, let me go look up that information before I end up saying things that are, as far as I'm concerned, reckless. We can't have
Okay.
two sets of facts or more than two sets of facts out here. Either what you're saying is right or what Val is saying is right. Now, it
Well, I
seems to
mean, at the end
me,
of the day,
it seems to me,
we would have to both look up what the actual numbers are, because
The actual
people have.
number of
Here's the thing: the
GDP is
reason
what
why
I told
data
you.
is
It's
okay.
important.
29.37 trillion.
The
It's been
reason
a
why data is important.
5.03%
The
increase
reason why
over the
data is
year.
important.
Wait,
Because regardless if
David,
somebody's black or not, Val.
David. He just gave us the numbers. Could you say those numbers again, Val? I
Yeah,
just want
the
to make sure
growth in GDP is 29.37 trillion, which is a 5.03 increase. It is also when you do the real GDP, which is a 3.1% increase annually, which is unheard of. Really, those are amazing numbers.
And that's under President Biden.
And that's under President Biden. Those are
Okay.
unheard of numbers in the past.
Okay. Now, David.
And that's what we don't want to lose, right? So when we talk about what's coming with tariffs and everything else, that is what it's going to affect. It's going to affect the GDP. And as the GDP drops, here's what happens, people. GDP drops, jobs drop, wages drop, layoffs start to happen. This is what happens because when you slow the economy, you're going to lose jobs. That's a reality. People talk about tariffs and they don't talk about it far enough. They talk about it raising their prices, but they don't understand that when price raises on goods are going to slow at their sale rate. So when goods go down because people can't afford to buy them, people start getting laid off. As people get laid off, we become more recessionary. And that is exactly what happened in 1920s. Okay? With two tariffs, the Smoot-Hawley Act and then another tariff. Both of those came into place, as well as mass deportation. Okay? When those things came together, it actually created a recessionary state for this country that put us in what we ended up calling the Great Depression. These are history, sir. It's not just economics. There's historical data to show what this man is proposing is going to do.
Magnitude of 1920s. That's insane.
That's not insane, sir. It's history.
So Val, can I ask you a question? Then why did the American people? If here would be the logic here. If American people, right, day-to-day American people like us, right, if it really was under Biden, good under Biden, why did they choose?
I want to make something real clear. I never said it was good under Biden. I said it was better. Okay. Because what Biden was having to fight, is a set of recessionary programs.
David,
David, listen. This is important.
David, why are you robbing us all of learning?
Yeah, because what Biden had to fight when he came in was a set of recessionary policies that were put in place. Deregulation of the housing industry, not controlling corporations and pricing and not trying to stop price gouging. Not putting anything in place to help those. No, sir, these are all true. You can roll your head and your eyes all you want to, but these are all true. And this is what he was having to fight, sir.
But David, come
Period.
on. I'm not gonna drop you, bro. So you don't gotta feel like you gotta get it all out. I'm at a point now, honestly, where I think I'm learning, and that's totally normal. You have to be able to set aside your own ego and learn. What?
Yeah, hey Zeus, I'm shutting the
No,
f up.
well, no,
I'm
I don't
listening
want you
now.
to
I'm
do
shutting
all of
up.
that. I'm just saying, if we're going to respond to him, let's just, have the conversation. Don't try to have to do all the steamrolling.
Yeah, the policies are important, sir, that were put in place before Biden took office. And when those raised our housing cost greatly. That to me is the largest recessionary thing that has been done to this country. And it wasn't done by Joe Biden, it was done by Donald J. Trump. Okay. And when you let corporations come into single family homes and start purchasing them from day one, this was going to
Why did
create
Biden
one
allow
of the
that?
largest inflationary
Why
issues
did
we
Biden
have.
allow BlackRock to buy all these things, buy all these things, and have all? Why did Biden allow BlackRock to buy? Because he
No,
could
he
have changed
couldn't,
that.
sir.
He
Those
could have changed
policies
that.
were already put
Yes,
in
he
place and
could.
the
Yes, he
damage
could.
was already done.
Why did
Sir, would you know
Biden
when
allow
that took
BlackRock and
place?
all these
Sir,
companies
do you know the
to
date
have
that
more of a
took
supply
place? Do you know the
shortage?
date that BlackRock put that initial investment? 50 billion with a B, billion dollars into single family homes. Do you know the date that happened?
Yes or no,
No, I'm
David?
not. No, I
Okay,
don't. No, I
thank
don't.
you.
January
I
of
know they invested, but
20,
I don't know the exact
sir,
date. I'm not gonna sit
excuse
here
me,
and say that I've
July
done
of
that.
2019. July of 2019. By the time Biden came into office, the damage was already done. If he would have taken and told corporations to push all those houses back into the market, do you know what the outcome of that would have been?
All right, so we talking about interest rates for housing. So here's an
No,
actual graph. Here's an actual
no,
graph.
sir.
Here's an actual
Oh
graph
my
for that.
God. This is
Hold
no,
on.
David. You're
David,
not
David,
talking about interest rates.
David, we'll come back to that. Uh,
Okay,
okay,
Yeah,
go
we'll
we're
come
ahead.
not
back to
talking
that.
about interest rates, and I already told you why those were and why that happened. It had to happen. It had to. No, but anyway, sir, what happens if you flood a market?
You can tell come on back, David. Maybe we should look in your eyes a little bit
No,
more.
I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm
Because,
here.
like,
I'm here. I'm waiting.
the eyes are the
Hey, you
gate
told me
to
to
the
listen to.
soul.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm listening. Go.
Let's bring up graphs that have nothing to do with the situation.
What are
Sir,
you talking
I
about? These
just
are the
told
housing
you
interest rates. These are the housing interest
what
rates. So
happens if you
basically,
flood the market back with housing after 2 years. 2 years
We're going to
of
learn
it being
today.
purchased. What happens if you throw all those houses back on the market? You know, David, I know you're younger, but do you remember what happened in '08?
I actually do. I actually do. I don't remember exact, but I do remember how badly George W. Bush
Now, what caused
destroyed
'08?
our
Was it
economy
was
by
now what
warmongering.
caused '08? What specifically caused
I totally
'08?
understand
What
that. That's why
caused the market
Bitcoin
to
was created
crash?
for an to oppose the inflationary
No,
aspect of what the dollar was, because
our
our dollar
house
was
market being
devaluing.
flooded.
I
When
do
the house
understand what
market
happened
flooded,
in
prices
the
dropped on
housing market
houses,
and the
loans
terrible
became
policies
unmanageable.
that
David,
happened
did you
to
hear
bail
that?
out the bankers.
David,
I do remember.
David,
And
David.
I do understand. I may not have a good understanding if it was
I do,
in
David.
2008 because I was a kid, but I do understand the implications as I got older. Now you're
David,
basically saying any graph that I put up is
David, your friends are asking you to dial it down a little bit and just listen, because what they believe is if you knew what you were talking about, you would actually be really good. So they're saying, like, we would like to see David in the dojo. All right, because this is where we're on TikTok, right? But sometimes you got to do things you should be doing offline on TikTok, and that's what this is. Both of us, really, we got to listen to what Val is saying. He's saying a lot of the things that, well, he's providing a lot more detail. But I've been talking about the 1929 style depression that's ultimately going to come because of Trump's economy. Now we're just putting the meat on the bones.
you're talking about hypotheticals. What I'm going off of is literally, and Val made some good
No,
points.
sir. Hold on, hold on.
The
It's a
GDP, the
hypothetical. Hold on, sir.
GDP. He's
Stop.
talking about GDP when it
Stop.
rebound
It's
after
not a
Jerome Powell lowered the
hypothetical
interest
when
rates.
history has
The housing and
proof of what
deregulatory.
happens when you do this.
Thank you.
It quits being a hypothetical at that moment.
Val, I'll tell you what. I'll
Sir,
meet you in
sir,
2
if I
years.
take my pen
I'm gonna
and I
follow
put it on
you.
my
I'll
piece of
meet you in
paper,
2 years.
or
I'll
let me
meet you in
let
2
me use a
years.
pencil. If I take a pencil and I put it
Gotta
on a
mute
piece
him.
of paper and I move it straight down, what's going to happen?
Oh, I muted him because he can't control the MAGA demon inside.
No, it's
Can I
thick in this
explain my
one.
graph? Can I explain my graph now? Can I explain my
But
graph?
no, sir. If I take a
We've
pencil,
seen your graphs.
right, sir,
No,
sir,
no,
sir.
no. This
If
is
I
a new
take a
one. 'Cause
pencil
now
and
we're
I put
talking
it on
about
a piece
housing.
of
Now
paper
we're
and I
talking about
move it
housing.
straight down, what's going to happen?
You hear the question, David? This is a simple one. Did you hear the question, David?
No, go ahead, Val.
If I take a pencil, I put it on a piece of paper at the top of the piece of paper, and I move it straight down, what's going to happen?
If it goes straight down, what's going to happen? He's going to keep plummeting. It depends. I mean, it depends where
Sir, it's going to make a damn line.
It depends because the person.
Sir,
I mean,
my
when you're talking
Lord.
about the stock
See,
market.
sir, this is the
obviously
problem with
something goes down, it's
overthinking, and this
eventually
is what
gonna
I was
go
hoping
back
you would
up,
do.
or with any
This is
data,
the problem with overthinking, is because you overthink to the point that you put yourself
what
in
are
a
you
trap
talking about? That's
because
a
you miss
ridiculous
the actual
hypothetical.
real
If I
data.
wanted with my,
Sir, if I put
had
a pencil
control,
at the
if I
top of
wanted
a
to
piece
keep
of paper
bringing
and
it
move it
back
down,
down,
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
going to
keep
draw a
bringing it
line.
back down. What's the
No,
I had to
I'm just
mute
going to
him.
draw a line, David. And once that line is drawn, why did I know that line was going to be there? Because historically, I know every time I put a fucking pencil on the top of a piece of paper and I move it straight down, it's
now?
going to make a
That's
damn line.
subjected to the person who's actually doing that.
Exactly.
That's subjected to the person who's actually doing that, though. What I'm pulling up is actually data and overall
Sir,
consensus.
you're not pulling up anything you can actually verify.
That's what I'm saying.
because
So
you don't
basically,
understand the data you're even
Val, what
looking
you're
at.
trying to gaslight, I have
No, I'm not trying to gaslight you,
I
sir.
have
I'm telling you the
multiple data
truth.
points.
It's
I have multiple
gaslighting when there's
graphs.
no truth.
I have cross-reference. Talk about
Val, I don't know what to say. I've never. He's cooked.
Zeus. Hold on, Zeus.
I'm
You
gonna
didn't
be
even let me
honest.
explain the housing interest rates. and the
David, you know why I don't really want to
Will
hear
you allow
it,
me to?
David? Well, let me answer the question.
Go ahead.
You asked me to let you explain the housing interest rates. I don't think that's a good idea because it's like we're in a class and the test has been administered, and the score you got didn't demonstrate you truly had a mastery of the subjects that were being covered. So I think it's really in your best interest and everyone else's if you don't go any further and we just finish up this educational conversation that we're having. You take down the notes you can, and then
Because he thought I didn't understand the implications of what happened in 2008. That's not. I mean, that's not true. He thought I didn't know. Just I was young. I didn't understand how bad it was. But I understand now. I understand now how bad that was. I understand what happened in 2008.
Okay, and so it's that right there. Now, looking back, you understand. So where you're at right now is you're pretty much in
You're
that.
making this a Republican or Democrat. George W. Bush was a terrible president.
Sir, what did
I'm
I
not
say a minute ago?
disputing that.
What did I say? I told you a second ago, this is not a Republican or Democratic issue. It is a policy issue. And you've got to look at what policies. Truth of the matter is when you really look at the issues that we're talking about, they're an American people's issue. This is what people forget. No matter what happens,
Right, which is why I don't understand.
Hold on, sir. Let me finish.
David,
No matter what happens
GDP. I understand
in
that.
the presidency or who's sitting there, the policies they put forth will affect our lives. Period. Whether you like it or not, they're going to affect our lives. So I don't look at it as Democratic or Republican. I look at it as policy. What is that policy going to do to affect my life? Now, I can tell you what a tariff policy did to affect our lives.
Oh,
when it came to wood and steel from Canada.
Yeah, the same.
Wait! I was trying to listen, David. WQX50. Listen, David. Val, if you do not mind, there's two things, and I know we've been covering this quite a bit, but for the sake of the show, could you explain how both tariffs affect our lives and mass deportations?
I understand how tariffs.
David, is your name Val?
How tariffs work?
Is your name Val? David, come on now.
I'll shut up. I'll mute. I'll shut up.
Yeah, let's use a 25% tariff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. Now, the first thing, let's find out who pays the tariff because that's important. Because you've got people out there that think the other country that's shipping the goods in pays the tariff. It's not how it works. The importer pays the tariff. Now, what's an importer? Because that seems to be some confusion too. So if I own a t-shirt company and I buy t-shirts from China or Japan or Taiwan, doesn't matter who it is based on these tariffs, right? because they're blanket tariffs, and it's a 25% tariff. If I pay $8 for that shirt from China, I'm going to get that shirt from China. I've paid $8 for it. That's today, right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make $2 on that shirt, so I sell that shirt for 10.
Correct.
Okay, tough. Easy math.
Yeah.
25. Now let's add a 25% tariff. Okay, I'm the importer at this point because I'm the one importing the shirts from China, so I will have to pay that 25% tariff. 25% of $8 is $2.
Yes.
That shirt has now cost me $10.
Correct.
I want to make my $2. I don't need to make more than my $2, but I want to make my $2 still.
Yes.
Because that's how I pay my employees,
Right.
and everybody that works for me. So now I have to shell that shirt for 12.
So
that's the reality of a tariff.
So
plain and simple.
So before the tariff, I was selling the shirt for $10. After the tariff, I have to sell the shirt for $12. And I'm passing that cost on.
Just let me know when I come.
Okay, yeah, and I'm passing that additional cost on to all of my customers, or am I eating it?
I'm not eating it. I'm passing it on.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, now David, that was a very quick and easy way to understand it. How tariffs could possibly impact an everyday American like myself and you. You said you wanted to push back on it.
Before I address that situation, let me actually go back to the housing interest rate. So basically, I'm a cause and effect. I look at the result. When you look at from August of 2019 to 2021, look at the interest rates.
Okay.
Hovering just about 3%. As soon as Biden took an office, and the numbers are skewed.
Sir, we've already covered this. Stop.
Hold on. Val,
because I'm not going to let you continue and spread poison. Because at this point, you're spreading poison. Okay, sir, I already explained.
Now you talk.
No, sir, I already explained. Sir, no, you need to mute and listen. I already explained.
Now,
no, sir, you need to listen.
No, I listened to you.
David, knock it off.
There is 1.3K people in here, and it ain't just you I'm talking to.
Thank you.
I listened to him.
Thank you, David.
So sir, I'm going to say this one more time.
David.
The inflation rates, when inflation rises, which it did, from around, we were pretty close to 4%. And raised to almost between 9 and 10%. When that happens, the reaction of the Fed is going to be to raise interest rates because they're trying to curb debt, which would drive the inflation even higher. And that is what the Fed does. Now, Biden, when he came into office at the middle, basically, of C-19, because of the damage that was already done in this country, our inflation rates rose, just like they did in every country in the world.
Bingo.
And every country in the world that does lending did the exact same thing. They raised interest rates because that's how you curb inflation. That is the job of the Fed, like it or not. That is a reality.
So, David, now that we addressed inflation, we were talking about how tariffs work, and you went over to inflation. So now that that's done, could you at least get back to the tariffs? Can you at least get back to the tariffs?
You didn't let me say my point.
No, we don't need to. I know where you're trying to go with it.
The show is, listen, the show can't go that long, David. David, the show can't go long. Put it this way, David, you won. You know what you're talking about. Let's get back to the tariffs, all right? Let's just move on. All right. Do you understand what Val was saying about the tariffs and how it impacts you? You said while he was explaining that to you that you wanted to respond to that. So it would be lovely, honestly, if you could use your learned education that you got and actually respond to it in a way that we can all follow what you're saying. All right. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, W Val in the chat. I mean, Val doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to do this, but Val is doing it. David, so did you want to respond to the tariffs?
Yes. First of all, what's it, Stephanie Rule, actually, when Stephanie Rule actually she brought this up. Like, I don't have the exact clip, but when she was talking to Vice President Harris, those tariffs, Biden kept them in place. I understand the concept. He's trying to make it seem like I don't understand the concepts of tariffs. All these other countries, if you're a third world country, that if tariffs are really a bad thing, why do they have high tariffs? Why do they make high tariffs? Because it actually brings money in. Now, does it actually trickle down to the actually American people? And does the corporation actually take in those profits? All right, well, that's something to argue. That makes sense. However, there's a lot of tariffs that Trump put in, that Biden kept. If they were really that bad, then why did he keep them? And this is not me who said that. That's Stephanie Rule. She's the economist.
Sir, what was
I'm
the
not
what
gonna
was
hold
the
on,
two
hold on,
types?
Val.
What's the
You
two
talk.
types of tariffs?
Hold on, Val. You
No,
talk. Val, you talk.
You spread all
You
the
talk.
poison. I'm
It's
going to
my
let you
turn now.
spread. What are the two types
I
of
was
tariffs?
muted the whole time.
What are the two types of
Now it's my
tariffs?
turn to talk.
What
Val,
are the two
Val,
types
Val,
of tariffs?
you
They're
talk.
getting somewhere,
I got
David.
muted the whole time.
David,
It's
what
my
are the
turn
two
now.
types of tariffs?
It's my turn.
No, what are the two types of tariffs?
Steel, aluminum, and again,
No,
I
sir.
don't, again.
Sir, you have
First of all,
targeted tariffs.
first of all,
Sir, hold on. Here, I'm going to help
I
you.
do
I'm going to help you. You
Help
have
him.
targeted tariffs.
remember vividly. We can.
Sir, quit. You have targeted tariffs and you have blanket tariffs.
Okay.
Tariffs are a good thing when used targeted, because what targeted tariffs do is
That's what Trump
protect.
does.
Hold on,
That's what
sir.
Trump
What
does.
targeted tariffs do is protect American interest. Okay. So
That's
when you
exactly.
put
You're
tariffs
literally. That's
like,
exactly.
hey, hold on a second. When you put tariffs on certain car manufacturers,
Dude,
like
that's not
Trump
fair.
did, hold on a second,
Just because
sir.
he's biased.
Like
He's
Trump
almost done,
did.
David, we're giving you an assist.
Yeah,
Don't
when
worry.
you
This is
put
good for you.
targeted tariffs like Trump and Biden both have done on certain manufacturing aspects of other countries like electric vehicles, okay, this protects American interest, okay, because we have our own
Got
companies
it.
that build these and we actually have the manufacturing and the capability to do this. So now we are protecting an American interest. That is a targeted tariff and not a bad thing to do to protect that interest. Okay.
Got it.
So that's the ones that were kept in place by the Biden administration were the targeted tariffs because they had to be there. Now, some of the targeted tariffs is Biden lifted. One specifically we've already talked about, and that would be a tariff on Canadian lumber and steel and China steel. Okay, because we need those resources to continue to build in this country, and because we don't have the manufacturing capability to put that out there
Right.
or the resources. So those, now putting a tariff on those is actually harmful to America because it raises our prices on goods on something we don't have the capability to manufacture or put out. That is the difference in tariffs. What Donald Trump is talking about is blanket tariffs. Now, this is a whole different thing. This, when you say, I want to put a 25 or 35, his numbers have changed weekly, right? But a 25 or 35% tariff blanket on everything that comes in from one country or all countries that he said. I want to put a
Right.
25% on Mexico, a 25% on Canada. I want to put a 25% on Europe. When you do that, you are going to hurt the American people. And that is exactly what the Smoot-Hawley Act did in 1929, sir.
They thought they could tariff their way out of the situation they were in during that time. And it ended up hurting the everyday Americans. And I'm summarizing it and I'm paraphrasing. And this is what we're trying to help people like David and the people who voted for Donald Trump understand.
You're not letting me rebuttal. You keep muting me because Val. I can explain all this, but you keep muting me. But go ahead. I'll wait my turn.
Well, go for it. What I mean is what you're saying honestly going to validate what Val is saying, or basically?
Because I'm addressing GDP. He said it went up. You said 4.4.
How did we get the GDP?
Growth rate? That's what you said, Val. That's what
Which-
you said. Here's how tariffs work. We're the superpower of the world. So basically, Trump used it as a leverage. Basically, you need us more than we need you. Not only that, the positive thing about that is that promotes domestic production. The less we're reliant on places like China, and I do business with China. I have a merch store. I know. I like. There's a reason why TikTok Shop is out competing. Hold on. There's a reason why TikTok Shop is out competing Amazon.
Sir, hold on. I love this argument. I love this argument when it comes up. And sir, I get where you're coming from with this argument, and I understand the logic actually behind it. I understand. Hey, if you listen, Dave, you might learn something here.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
You might, but I love this argument because I love the deal. But sir, what is the unemployment rate in this country right now?
What is
the unemployment rate in this country?
It went down. I had the unemployment rate. It was super
Well, no,
high.
sir, I asked you, what is the unemployment rate in this country right now?
It has gone down. I don't know the exact. Probably
It's right around 3. It hovers right around 3.8%. That's where it hovers right now.
Okay.
So last year we averaged about 3.8%. Sir,
about 3.5.
what percentage of the country is unemployable? In
What
other words,
percentage of the
working
country-
capable, working age.
That's a good question. That's a good
What
question.
percentage of the country is
I'm not 100%
unemployable?
sure. I'm not
David.
100% sure. I don't know the exact number of that.
Thank you.
It's around 2.1 to 2.2% of the American population is unemployable for different reasons. Okay. So these are people that just can't work, even though they're in the working age
Right, they're
group.
18 under or something.
So, sir, that leaves about
that's why
leaves
there's
now
myriad
from
of factors,
3.8
so I would have
from
to
2
factor all
point. Let's say
those in. I'll have to
2.1
adapt
from
to that.
2.1 to 3.8. What is the percentage left of people who can actually work?
That again, there's a lot.
No, sir.
Of
This is an important. This is an important
if
number.
I haven't done the research, or I
Sir,
haven't
no,
seen
you
the
haven't.
data,
This
I'm
is
not
an
gonna-
important
I'm not gonna
number,
say what I
sir,
don't
because
know.
what you don't understand, sir, is this is why immigration is so important. Remember, I told you that
And we
the
were-
other part of 1920, or Great Depression was a mass deportation. Okay.
I remember that. Yes.
Okay. Was a mass deportation. Sir, we don't have the physical labor or people to grow with a tariff that is going to do away with all outside sources without migrants. Sir, this is a math problem.
What he's saying. First of all, hold on. Let's get
No,
back
sir,
to that.
this is true. This is a math problem, sir, that you
GDP.
cannot
Let's get back to that.
overcome.
I will explain that, Val. You just keep
No,
talking
you
over me.
can't explain it,
Val,
sir,
Val,
because
you just
if you
keep talking over me.
deport
You keep
11
talking over
million
me
people
without
from
me
this country,
addressing all the
that's
points that you
11
made.
million people
David.
that can't do those jobs.
David, this is reality. I mean, at a certain point, bro, don't you think you got to knock it off and at least get back to earth and say, all right, maybe I need to, recalibrate my position and, re-engage
I will, but I haven't
using.
had the opportunity to because I keep getting muted. Every time I try to make a point, you mute me, Zeus.
I'm trying to get you to stay on topic.
Okay,
we talk tariffs. You want to go talk about the housing market.
4.8, the 4.5, 4.8. Can I explain that? Because
What was
he
that?
thought he schooled me. No, he didn't. No,
what did you say you wanted to explain?
Okay. Well, by the end of 2017, under President Trump, annual GDP growth had increased by 2.5%. After Republican tax cuts were passed in
2017?
Hold on, I wasn't done. 2018 GDP rose by 3%. And in 2019, it was at 2.5%. COVID-19 stopped the economy in its track, but it rebounded within months. The effects on Joe Biden's inflation. When President Joe Biden took office, he inherited a solid 1.4 inflation rate. Yeah, because when Trump left office, it was at 1.4. It was very, very low rate from Trump. And
can I ask where you're getting this from? Where did you get this from, David? Where are you reading this from? Because I want to read it up. I like to read what you're reading at the same time.
Yeah. Zeus. I'll love to give you my sources. .gov.edu.
Sir,
but
do you know what a 1.4 inflation rate is?
Let me at least.
Hold on, no,
read
sir.
them.
Do you know what a 1.4
inflation
rate is?
I went to college. I know.
You
what
said a
APA is.
.gov? What's the
Sir, do
.gov?
I know what
no,
AP
sir.
is.
There's something you need to
I know what
understand.
citing my
Do
sources
you
is.
know what
I
a
went to college.
1.4
So are we
inflation
gonna
rate?
keep what
Understand?
citing my
Do you
sources is?
know what
I
a
went to college.
1.4
So are we
inflation
gonna
rate
keep
is?
filibustering me, or can I finish? Can I
No,
finish my
sir. There's a name for inflation that gets around
when
1%
president
to zero. Sir, there's a name for when inflation gets around 1% or zero. Do you know what it is?
Val?
No, sir. Do you know what the
What
name
you
is?
keep
Answer
trying
the
to do?
damn question. If you
I'm
don't know, I'll
addressing. You
answer it.
said Val. So you were talking about the
No,
GDP
sir.
making
When
historical
inflation gets
climbs, right?
down to around
You said
1.4 to
4.8.
1% down,
You
sir,
said
that's called a
4.8.
recession.
No, it's the adjusted inflation rate. Basically,
So
that's
David,
the average of how we feel it. Trump
David,
left office at
David,
1.4.
David, David.
It skyrocketed 2 years later to 9%. What are you not getting? These are not my numbers. You can look these things up.
You said you had
So
a
so
website.
he's talking. Hold on, Zeus. Let's slow it down because I ain't gonna fry. I am getting a
No,
little
his
bit passionate here. I
1.4 is
will
a
admit
correct
that.
number, but what he doesn't understand is what 1.4 inflation is. 1.4 inflation is a recession.
No, it's that
Yes, it is,
basically the
sir. Do you
stat that
not
I just
understand
gave
inflation?
is
What does
how the
inflation have to be at for the
1.4.
country to
That's how
grow?
much it actually
Sir,
affects American
what is the
consumers.
number inflation has to
9%,
be at
not
for the
getting
country
into
to grow?
9%. That's inflation. The lower the inflation, the better. The
No,
higher, the
sir.
worse.
No, sir.
What are you
There is a
talking about?
point.
Val,
There is
you
a
keep gassing.
point to where it is recessionary. We
So
have to
Val,
be between 2 and 3%. Or actually, excuse me, that's wrong. But yeah, between two, that
no,
is
that's just the
correct.
average.
Between 2 and
That's just the average of
3%
where inflation
inflation
usually
to
is. That's
continue
just the average.
growing. When inflation gets below 2%, we start becoming inflationary
That's not a bad thing. That's
because the
not a bad
economy
thing.
stops growing.
That's not a bad thing. If that's not a bad thing, the lower inflation,
No,
obviously there
sir,
has to
that
be
is
tax. The lower
wrong.
the inflation, the better. That means that
Sir,
we have more buying
type
power. That's
in
what
zero
inflation is.
inflation and tell me what you
The
see.
lower the inflation,
David,
the stronger the American dollar is. What are you talking about, Val?
David. I gotta stop you. That's not true. Everyone knows
Yes,
that you need to have some inflation to show that the country is
right,
growing.
because stuff
You're trying to go to no inflation,
stuff gets progressively higher.
David. You're trying to go to no inflation, and it's just I don't know.
I didn't say no inflation. Stuff gets progressively higher over time. But if you have inflation at 1.4 to 2%, that's a good thing. Having it at 9% 2 years later, that is a bad thing.
It wasn't 2 years later, sir.
Jesus Christ, David.
Hold
yes,
on,
it
sir.
was. I have the graph right here.
Sir,
David,
Val. But
what
you're
was the
talking about.
inflation when Biden took office?
Val. You
Sir,
keep
what was the
filibustering me.
inflation when Biden took office? I
The
already know the numbers. What
GDP
was the
by
inflation when
2024 was
Biden took
4.8.
office?
Is that what you said?
What was the inflation when Biden took office?
What was the 1.4? Trump
What was
gave
the
him a
inflation
goal.
of March? What was the inflation of March of 2021?
Trump gave
What was the inflation
Biden
in
a
March
clean
of
slate.
2021, sir? Sir,
Trump
again,
gave
what was the inflation in
a
March of
1.4
2021?
inflation rate, and then 2 years
Sir,
later,
what was the
it went up
inflation in March
9%.
of 2021?
David,
That's undeniable. That's not my biased opinion. You look it up.
Sir, what was the
David.
inflation in March of 2021?
That of 2021, of January 2021.
David,
No, of March of 2021.
David. So here's the thing.
That I'm not 100% sure. I would have to look.
Sir, I'll help you out. It was
it
was already growing. It was already at
What I
at
do
over
know, it
7%.
went progressively
Now,
up. What I do
sir,
know is
that
Trump
wasn't
gave-
just 7% here.
First of all, you
It
didn't let me
was
finish the thought.
7%. It wasn't just 7% here.
First of all, you
It
didn't let me
was
finish the thought.
7% globally. Globally, not just here. Now, I'm going to ask you a very interesting question.
And this one you got to get it right, David. You got to get it right because
So hold on, Zeus.
look
So,
at
Zeus,
time.
so,
Time
Zeus.
is of the essence, David. And again,
is it true or false?
No,
Hold on,
no,
Zeus,
no,
Zeus,
no,
Zeus,
no,
hold on.
no, Jesus Christ,
I will,
David.
but is
I
it
gotta
tr-
stop. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, listen, David. We've hemmed and we've hawed with you, and I just don't think. I think this conversation is well outside of your wheelhouse. You've done a good job, running and hiding.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Now,
It is
are you
way
going
outside
to
his wheelhouse.
are you going to answer Val's question or not?
GDP bounced so high,
Jesus
and
Christ.
you won't even let me Oh, he's eccentric.
Sir, I asked
You
you a
didn't even let
question.
me
You won't
finish my
answer it.
sentences.
I said,
Uh-oh, what's
what?
that, David?
No, I asked you what policies could
It's a
Biden put in
dude.
place
It's cool.
in
You
3
can
months
ignore the
that raised
stats. You can ignore
inflation,
the data. The only reason why you put Val up here, and I'm not saying
5.5%
Val's not educated because he's not
globally.
smart.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got to send David to the lake of fire. This guy, he's all over the place. We just can't get you to tell the truth, no matter how much information, facts, data, and statistics we give you. Ladies and gentlemen, David, please come back after you've learned a little bit more and you got real talking points, all right, outside of just being triggered. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. Let's send him to the lake of fire.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
That man had a lot of fight in him, Val. I mean,
You know what? I appreciate the fight. Actually,
yeah,
I do.
you do.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the fight. It's just, I don't know how much he took away from the conversation we had. I don't know if he actually took anything because, like I said, pride is what's driving him. When people get to the point that pride says they can't be incorrect, this is what happens.
Thank you. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, W Val in the chat, and he has a lot of pride, right, Val? I mean, at a certain point, you have to admit, like, you know what? Maybe I should just sit my special behind down, and listen and learn. But he didn't want to do that at all.
No,
Do you think part of him knows that he doesn't know what he's talking about? Because this, to me, his behavior, he's
the
just
spin tells me yes.
yeah,
The
yeah.
spin tells me yes, because why do you spin?
Yeah, that's a good question. David, you have to, and this is not just for David, you have to quit spinning on TikTok. You have to actually sit down and start being able to make your points. And if they don't connect, then you got to stop. It's disgusting and it's disturbing, and it's more proof that you're in a cult and you're possessed with the MAGA demon. All right. Well, listen, Val, I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you bringing me up. When I
You're
heard
welcome.
where he was headed, I knew I thought I requested instantly because I was like, going, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. I knew it. Well, listen, you did God's work today, and I must say, I learned a lot from you, so I definitely appreciate it. And please, always feel free to send another guest request to come back up
Not
here.
a problem, buddy. And hey, Mary, I hope you had a good Christmas and
I did.
good New Year's, and for all our Jewish people out there, I hope you're having a good start to Hanukkah. And let's everybody have a good day, because that's what it's all about.
That's what it really is all about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, W Val in the chat. No lies detected.
Bye, everyone.
So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if you want to go the easy route or the most difficult route. One thing is for certain, these Trump supporters, especially those like David, they have no clue what they're dealing with. They're going, I mean, those graphs, honestly, that graph is going to give me a nightmare. Every time I think about that little graph you had, I'm going to be like, whoa, what in the world? This is what it took. This is all Donald Trump had to do to get you all to sign up, to throw away your 401ks, to spend more on groceries, and to basically make your lives a living hell. How sick is that? David, you really got to work on that, all right? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see, my oh my, yeah, it's a misinformed graph. Your head's hurt. Oh my gosh! If you guys think your head's hurt, you have to understand where my head is at. All right, that was what you call a lovely and very fascinating conversation. All right, let me move on to our next panelist. Who do we got next? Good morning, Dan. How are you doing this morning, Dan?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself, Zeus?
I'm all right. Just tending to the affairs in the kingdom. That was a doozy right there, to be quite honest.
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
I hate when my side insists on handicapping themselves long term by refusing to admit when they're wrong, because I love being wrong. Makes it so I can adjust my worldview, become more competitive, and have a higher chance of being right in a future high stakes situation.
Yeah. So that you said that was your side, so you voted for Trump.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what do you want to say after all of that? I mean, I feel like we've covered a lot of territory.
Literally everything Val said was correct.
Wow. W. Dan, wow. I didn't know this show was going to I didn't know this was going to happen today. Thank you, David, for doing this, David. You did something today. Oh, my God.
I mean, it's just the conversation never got any further than like the elementary school economic stuff. While Val was correct on everything that was said, I would suspect we may have disagreements on something a little bit further down the road.
Well, what is that? What is that? I mean, because this is what this is about. As much as I like to do what I do, I think that, when you have honest conversations like this, it does help the American people in one way or another, especially if you're a person that likes to do things based on facts, data, and statistics.
I mean, I usually just have conversations with folks.
Yeah. Well, are you? So let's just be honest. Does Donald Trump's economy, the one that he's pushing and promoting, does that help the average American, or does it actually make things a lot worse? Based on what you understand, because to me this is critical.
It absolutely doesn't in the short term. I mean, yeah, there's no argument around that.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's silly.
Okay. So can you give us an example of how it doesn't help the average American? Because I have people on this app that love to go around, and actually I have a bet now. Could you bring wait a second. Do you think eggs are going to go down to 99 cents a carton at some point?
I think tariffs are going to be completely irrelevant to 99 cents a carton eggs. The price eggs thing, it was fully a talking point. No one ever really cares about eggs.
Wow. So in terms of how it's going to hurt the average Trump supporter, how is it going to hurt him? So in terms of how it's going to hurt the average Trump supporter, how is it going to hurt him?
Well, short term, the pain is going to be that tariffs will be inflationary. They will increase costs of goods sold, total landed costs. That portion of that does get call it trickled down. Even though supply side economics is silly, that will get trickled down to the consumer. There will be wage growth, call it wage inflation, brought on by mass deportation.
Yeah.
That will be short-term pain.
Goodness gracious. And the mass deportations, that's going to cause pain, or is that going to fix things in the economy, in your opinion?
Kind of remains to be seen, because it's unclear how much will be able to happen, how quickly. I think the general cost to deport 1 million people annually would be like $450 million.
Well, they said 86 billion for 1 million people. 86 billion for 1 year. And if you deport 1 million people, that's what they're projecting that it'll cost. And Tom Homan is saying, and that's not enough, because how do you put a price on protecting people? Because in their minds, everyone's a criminal if they're here illegally, right?
Yeah, if they're here illegally, definitionally. I mean, they would be.
Yeah, but some people out there don't believe that they're a criminal. They just think that, well, I'm not breaking any law, so I'm good. But like you said, if you're here illegally, you're a criminal in their eyes. Now, the burning question, honestly, is how do you justify voting for Trump knowing all of this?
Because, he's a bull in the china shop. He's there to disrupt the system.
But why? So you want to disrupt the system and make things worse? To me, it would make sense to disrupt the system and make things better, right?
Yes. In an ideal world, yes, there would be a way to disrupt said system and not have any short-term pain.
Right. So why disrupt the system? Why is it necessary to disrupt the system? And because to me, that it's just not making any sense.
I would say, so if it's possible to disrupt the system by not causing short-term pain, I'm not sure I followed.
So for me, in the way that I understood this, most people don't believe that the government is working for them, right? And we're doing things like taking care of other countries, but we're not taking care of our country, or the people here in the country, right? And examples of complaints and grievances that I've heard from people who supported Donald Trump could be, funding the conflict in Ukraine, funding for Israel, sending aid to Africa, the grocery prices and inflation. So to me, when you hear Trump campaigning and he says things like no taxes on tips, capping credit interest on credit cards for 10%,
Oh, he's lying.
He's going to bring inflation all the way down to pretty much no level. All right. I mean, he's basically saying, I see the problems, and I'm going to take care of them. Right.
No one thinks that Donald Trump is not lying. He's absolutely lying. Yes.
Wait. No one thinks he's not lying or is lying.
Donald Trump is a useful idiot for heritage.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So, but that means the people who supported him are what?
They got lied to. Yes.
Well, did they get lied to, or are they in on it with him?
I mean, it depends which people we're talking about.
The average Trump voter.
Oh, average Trump voter. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, does the CEO in the boardroom, do they give transparency to like strategic, like long, like business strategy to like the everyday worker? It's more like a need to know basis. The average person, they want simple answers to complex problems, so we give it to them.
Right. But you're not following, I guess, what I'm saying. My thing is this. How does a person, knowing what you know, go and vote to make their life worse?
Because I think long term it's going to be better by installing a new system in place through the efficiency that's going to be brought about through, say, Doge, when Doge is actually properly...
Doge? But Doge, doesn't it require them to actually spend a lot of money and then try to cut funding? So because they gotta
spend it.
Well, I would imagine you're gonna have to fund research or something, right, to figure out where to make the government more efficient, right? You got to hire people and stuff like that, or do you think just Elon and Vivek alone, they don't need help? They can just look at things and just decide right there, cut it. And then the second thing is, Elon gets a lot of money from the government, right?
Yeah, indirectly, for sure.
Through those defense contracts. My concern is, do you think he's going to say, hey, I need to actually stop getting money from the government? Do you think he's going to do that?
I mean, it could, but it doesn't matter either way because the lion's share of his money is from Tesla. It's not really SpaceX.
Well, that didn't answer my question, right? So Elon knows where he's getting his money.
Yes.
And he has all these government contracts. You can break up the percentage as much as you want. Do you think he's more likely to say to the federal employees that have been working there, you got to go? Or do you think he's going to say, you know what, let's save those people and I'll take a pay cut on my side?
I mean, his motivation is to peddle influence. It's not about him getting more government subsidies or contracts.
But he's supposed to be he's supposed to be trying to make the government run more efficiently, right? That's what Doge is all about, right? Cutting the costs. But I'm trying to I'm just trying to at least get you to acknowledge he's not going to cut any of the money he's bringing in.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
But so he's going to basically go after the people that helped to get him in there. Because I know there's some people who voted for Donald Trump.
I mean,
so these people
motivation would be like
these people that you're saying they're in their mind, they think if we put Donald Trump in, then there's going to be this rough period, but then we'll get to this magical place after that rough period where I believe this is how America should be, right? I think that's kind of
everyone has interests, everyone has donors, everyone has lobbyists. Like I think better of like the people who are in power than just that they'll automatically be corrupt and not serve the American people. Like,
you don't think Donald Trump is corrupt?
Oh no, Donald Trump absolutely is. But he's a puppet of the Heritage Foundation. We want the Heritage Foundation's like beliefs and goals.
Are the people who run the Heritage Foundation corrupt?
They're willing to do what it takes to get power. If that's considered corrupt, I guess.
Yeah. So this is the logic that I'm trying to. So to me, this is really where I'm going with this, Dan. You're too informed to have done this. You have no guarantee, no proof that disrupting the system is actually going to translate into you having success years later. There might be a situation where there is no new system. They might destroy the current system and install an autocracy.
We can't know. What do we think is going to be more likely to happen? Existing system where you have members of Congress who are beholden by special interests. Like, we're already literally, like, the whole Louisiana thing. I hear folks from the left, they tell me that, hey, we got to break the system. And that's somehow an excuse for vigilante justice. Like,
I don't think breaking the law is a thing to do. I'm not in favor of doing that. And I don't think even the people you might be hearing say that, right? They don't speak for the entire United States of America, right? You just got, as far as I'm concerned, you know, you got people out here who just have different types of intentions. And it is what it is on that front. But there is clearly an issue when it comes to the healthcare system that needs to be addressed,
absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Okay,
I would be
then.
for universal health care.
Okay, then. So let's not bring that into this. My main concern here is at least be consistent with your argument. You know, if you really don't, if you really have an issue with
I was
the,
inconsistent on anything.
huh?
Can you let me know what was inconsistent about anything that I was saying?
Yeah, you voted for Donald Trump, and at the end of the day, I believe you still believe in America. You want America to be successful.
Yes, of course.
You personally want to be successful.
I do my best.
Yeah, but just like the previous guest, David, you guys struggle to see how you're contradicting yourself.
How is it contradictory to say there will be short-term pain, economic-wise,
How?
to get long-term, more strategic, let's call it U.S. manufacturing? Like,
So the way that I see it is, and again, you think it's going to be short term. It's not. It's going to be long term. You get that?
how so?
Take the worst situation you could possibly imagine. Let's just say the mass deportations.
Sure.
How long do you think? What is short term, right? Like in terms of the direct impact that would have on somebody who might be subjected to the mass deportations. You think it's just going to be a 6 month and then all of a sudden their life returns back to normal? Or do you think that once you get in that blender, so to speak, your life is pretty much you're in a nasty situation, a nasty cycle for a long time?
Are we
You
talking
don't-
about the impact
you don't-
of
you don't
people
get-
being deported, or
Both. So for instance, if you're a person that's ended up, if you end up getting deported, I brought up a story about a woman who missed her immigration hearing because she had to have a C-section. This happened in Texas. And guess
that
what?
would be bad? Yes,
You heard about that.
I did not hear about that.
And they deported her and her
That
four
would be
kids.
bad.
They deported her and her 4 kids. How long do you think that suffering will last for her and her family? You think it's just going to be a 6 month? If you think like, oh my gosh, I'm in Mexico. You upended my life. You subjected me to possibly having to lose my property, my family. This stuff lasts for decades, hundreds of years in some cases. So that's what the people that are directly impacted. But the people here,
Did not know that.
the people here in the United States, right? A lot of people don't even understand that people who are in the country here, you know, illegally, are also contributing to their lifestyle, their way of life.
I
Right?
don't want to interrupt, but if there's something that I want to respond to, do you want me to, or
Go for it.
so? Like, say with this particular woman, she missed an immigration hearing because she had to have a C-section.
Correct.
Did she not know?
She
when-
coordinated. She gave everybody that
to
was.
a lawyer, like,
She gave everybody involved the information about her not being able to attend. Doctor's notes. They said, okay, it's fine. Then after it all happened, they said, we need to meet with you. ICE. She went there, her and her husband and the kids, and it went from, we need to meet and talk to you, to, you're going to get deported right there on the spot.
that sounds like a miscarriage of justice. Then
This is what I'm talking
we want
about.
legal immigration.
This is what I'm talking about, Dan. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of us, especially us Democrats, we've been basically pointing this all out. The plans and the policies that Trump is talking about. But no. If you wanted to fix the system, you should have voted for Kamala Harris.
Why is that? If we want HR 2, why would we vote for Kamala Harris when now we can have Congress and get HR 2?
Okay, because obviously with Kamala Harris, you had somebody in there that actually had respect for the Constitution, right? Somebody you knew wouldn't do things that basically subject everyday Americans to inhumane policies, right? You had somebody in there that you knew at the end of the day would follow the rule of law. You saw what Joe Biden did. Did Joe Biden end up getting impeached at all? No. Did Joe Biden
bill is like essentially what came from the Langford bill that Biden took to do his frankly, I give him props for doing this, but probably a highly illegal and or unconstitutional executive order. He did fix the immediate short-term problem at the border.
Yeah, but you don't put a Band-Aid on a wound like that, right?
Why is it acceptable for Joe Biden to do something unconstitutional when it turns out he was just willing to do what it took to do right by America?
Yeah.
That's what we want. But you can't both praise Joe Biden for the executive order now that he does for election.
Well, when he did it, he had to, because obviously Trump made it a situation where he said, "Don't work with the Democrats, because if you fix the issue, then I won't be able to run." We all know this.
New information, though, like, was this the first time that Democrats and Republicans hadn't been working together? Why didn't he just executive order it 2.5 years ago?
He said that he tried to, when he first got into Congress, pass a bill, first of all, to address the immigration. Obviously,
it was the Citizenship Act of the U.S. Citizenship Act.
So Dan, here's my thing, and I've talked to a lot of people like yourself. I don't really think they want to solve the immigration issue, because whether you're on the left or the right, a lot of people benefit from people being in this country illegally. It's a business for, so I don't really think that was the issue. More so, I don't think that the egg prices were the issue. I think the underlying issue about why people voted for Donald Trump as opposed to Kamala Harris is quite clear. But I don't want to get into identity politics. So what I'll say is this, Dan. I'm listening to you, and I think you're curious. I think that somewhere you are possibly aware that you voted for your own demise.
I haven't heard a single reason as to why.
Because
short-term pain it's going to have.
Because Dan, you have not made it really clear to me, right? Why voting for Donald Trump actually helps you. You've actually supported what we've been talking about. You've made it clear that it's going to be rough. Well, how long is it going to be rough, Dan?
No one knows. It's rough right now for everyone. But if I had to guess, 2 to 3 years for short-term stuff. We already have what?
2 to 3 years. Okay.
The Infrastructure Acts. You got Chips and Science Act. There's already a lot of allotted for.
But Dan. Okay. So Dan. Here's how I see it. It's going to be rough, and then by the time it gets better, Trump's out of office. That's how I see this, which to me contradicts everything you all were crying and complaining about. He's talking about, hey, when I get elected, I'm going to stop the conflicts going on, the wars and stuff like that. He's saying he's going to get this economy and our grocery prices down ASAP. You get in here and it could take 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
This is the hypocrisy that's going on in MAGA. Because honestly, if Joe Biden did what you just said, you all would lose it.
Of course.
And you know, and to say right now, oh, well, it's not good right now, it's a lie. Every Trump supporter that I've spoken with, I ask them simple questions. Are you working right now? Are you working, Dan?
Yes. Well, currently I'm on PTO, but yes, I have a job.
You have a job. Thank you, Joe Biden. So why do people who have jobs under Joe Biden
it's not about me,
sit here?
For the record, it is a job I created.
When did you create the job?
I created it. This would be August 2020.
August of 2020. And what industry? How did you create the job? What is the industry you're in?
I'm trying to think what I can say. It is a software. It's a software company in real estate, I'll say.
Software and real estate. And it's doing well right now.
We've got no complaints.
Thank you, Joe Biden. So you created it under Donald Trump, and you're one of those fortunate new businesses that somehow have been thriving under President Biden, correct?
Yeah.
So You're breaking. So you're bringing. So this. See, this is. So this is where I get. So you've been successful. You've been successful under the Biden administration, but yet you found a way to still say this is terrible, right?
My situation is not representative of the United States general population. I can't use it to say one thing is fantastic or one thing's not.
You're here in the United States, correct? I want to talk. I don't want you to talk to me about this place that you're trying to look out for that you have no direct impact in. I'm talking about you. The money in your pocket. The money in your pocket. The narrative that a lot of folks that voted for Donald Trump was this economy is terrible. So if you are living on the high horse, right, and you're saying the economy is terrible, then you got to give me examples of why the economy is terrible for me to believe what you're saying. That's all I'm trying to say. And it doesn't seem like you have the ability to do that because you're quite successful. Software and real estate, bro?
Because the economy is terrible because, not due to leading economic indicators, the economy is poised for a heck of a lot of growth. Biden did a really good job steering us out of this. He legitimately did. But the economy, having been what it was really negatively impactful.
Let me ask it this way. How does the current economy
we burned through savings by because we can't. If we want to talk about me, it's not going to be relevant to any of the policy.
But I want you to explain how what Biden's doing now to make your life worse. Don't talk to me about the national debt because that's not. You don't have that responsibility. You're not the president of the United States. I'm asking you just if there's a way you can say the policies that that Biden has implemented that are making it very difficult for you. Say the policies that that Biden has implemented that are making it very difficult for you to survive. Is it because of the grocery prices?
No.
You can't afford the groceries? What is it?
There's no policy that Joe Biden could have implemented that would make it so I couldn't survive. I'm very privileged and I have the opportunity to have a shield. Like I have enough wealth where he's probably not going to screw things up to where I'm not going to be able to, afford eggs. It's not about me.
Yeah, so then we get down to the real issue. So you don't really have any real solid reason for why you would say President Biden isn't a good president. Other than, again, it just seems to me like the identity politics.
It's not that. Trump is going to change the existing system.
But you acknowledge
exacerbating all this wealth inequality.
Dan, but you're also admitting that what Donald Trump is going to do as a disruptor is going to be worse for you.
No, it's
and
not.
You're willing to weather that storm because, You're willing to weather that. You're willing to weather that storm, right? Because as far as you're concerned, it's just temporary.
Yes, because I care about harm reduction over, say, call it the next decade. I'd say over the next decade or 20 years, I think there's going to be less harm and more positive outcomes by changing the system compared to the current way of doing it.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of fluff, all right? But unfortunately, I don't buy it. I think one of the best things, or one of the examples that you could actually look at is you saw how Donald Trump mismanaged the pandemic, correct?
Well, you also haven't asked me why I think it's going to be that way, but I can answer any of your questions that you want.
Why do you think it's going to be that way?
Because we're going to be able to eliminate waste from the federal government. We're going to be able to have more strategic American manufacturing, so we're not beholden to other foreign interests.
Do you think Elon is going to stop working with China and do all of his manufacturing here in the United States? Dan, cut it out. Dan, cut it out. Dan, cut it out. And by the way,
tariffs.
And by the way,
there's blanket tariffs.
And by the way, Dan, did you hear this thing that just happened on X? His followers, Elon's followers, they're turning on him about these super talented engineers that are coming in from overseas to work for him. Did you hear about this? Because Doge is supposed to support and help cut cut down the fraud and the waste and abuse in the government and be pro-American. But Elon's out there advocating to bring in foreign talent, and so now his followers are going, well, wait a minute, Elon, why won't you use all of us Americans here to do those things?
Because it's not an ideologically captured thing. I don't want us to do the inefficient thing.
No, we're talking about people working for Tesla. These are engineers.
I understand, yes. I'm okay hiring foreign workers to come in and do things the way the free market allows it to. We're using, and the fun argument that
that's what I'm talking about,
is that we are using economic DEI to have
Rick. Jeff Bezos, you hear about what happened with Jeff Bezos? He's out partying while people that work for him are out there, protesting because of, the issue with their wages and the union and stuff like that. You hear about this? It's that level of, to me, lack of understanding. The people who voted for Donald Trump, people like you, they have no clue that literally you're voting to make your life worse. You had it good under Joe Biden. Honestly, under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I love hearing the story. I had a business and it was thriving under President Biden. But you know what? I also love the fact that what you acknowledge is Donald Trump doesn't really have a clue what he's doing to help save everyday Americans. And as a matter of fact, you've also acknowledged it's going to be more harmful to you.
One second, because there's really big misunderstanding from folks in the chat.
What?
DEI is not just about race. Republicans are really silly when they do that. I said it's economic DEI to have tariffs because by definition, we are giving more equity to American manufacturers.
Jesus Christ, Dan, listen. All right.
That's what DEI is. I'm not saying what people
do you have a problem with DEI?
No.
Well, it sounds like you did. Why is it bothering you? Hold on.
It's not bothering me. I'm saying tariffs are by definition economic DEI.
Hold on. I'm dealing with this. All right. Good morning, Nutty. How are you doing, my good friend, Nutty?
Hey, Zeus. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and happy first day of Kwanzaa. Today means a day of unity in Kwanzaa, celebrating the first day of Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things were said that Dan said. So point by point, I just want to systematically ask questions. Let's talk about those first. The Department of Government Efficiency. So the first problem that I have with those is how can we make a government efficient that you're telling me it's going to have to take 2 people to run, 2 billionaires at that. Dan,
so
2
government
to run,
department is inefficient.
Dan, 2 people, 2 billionaires running government efficiency, Dan?
Probably that would be.
Probably. So you voted on a probably. You voted on I don't know. You voted on in the long term.
Trying to be polite,
we have to wait and see. Right. But you keep spouting. See, Dan, hold on, Dan. I have a lot to say because you said a lot. Hold on, Dan, please.
You said the first thing you said was complete nonsense.
Dan, please and thank you. Please hold on.
Okay.
You're peeing on my leg and you're telling me it's raining. You're telling me, because you sound good, Dan. You sound good. You sound vested in the United States. You sound very empathetic, but your vote screams other.
That part.
Your vote screams otherwise, Dan.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Your vote screams, I say one thing, but I do another. That's the way your vote screams.
And Nutty, can I add this? Sir. I don't want to say this, Dan, but to me, I just think that you had a problem with a woman of color.
I was getting right down to that. I think at the end of the day, if we pull a Michael Jackson and if we stand back and look at the man in the mirror and deal with the internal BS that we have within us, I say us, Dan, because I'm part of the us. I still deal with internal BS that I have to work out within myself. Because when Dan, let me tell you something, brother. When you look in the mirror and you see the beam that's in your own eye, it's a really hard pill to swallow. Because nobody can be harder on me than myself. And what you need to do, Dan, you need to stand in your bathroom so you can get the most privacy. And you need to really look deep down into your soul and you need to just be honest. There's nobody in the room but you, yourself, and you and God.
If you believe
So
in
you need
that.
to really look in yourself and say, what is the problem? What is my real issue that I had with Kamala Harris outside of ideology? It's fine to disagree with an ideology. That's fine. 100%, that's fine. But I don't think it's about the ideology, Dan. It's about the fact that, number one, she's a woman. And number two, here's the kicker, Dan. This is going to trigger you. She was a black woman.
Oh.
That's what I think it is, Dan. And it's okay to admit that. It's okay to admit it. But in the admission, there needs to be work. And you need to come from out amongst those people like that. Because it's not a good look. And as far as DEI, don't give me this BS about economic equity or diversity. Who talks about economic equity? You don't care about economic equity, because if you cared about economic equity, you would be for DEI across the board.
I'm happy to explain anything and everything about my position.
Is there something we missed? Is there something that we missed?
About a million different things about everything that was said.
Well, let's pick the most important
characterization of it.
Could you pick? Because see, what I don't want to do is mischaracterize you.
I don't either. I don't either. Because we're having a good conversation.
So what we're having is not a good conversation.
Why?
I asked specifically if I could respond, and then you said you had a lot more to say. So
okay, go. Well, see, I'm going to go on mute so you can speak, Dan.
Okay.
Well, no, I don't want to monologue.
No. Well, just pick the most important thing, please, and then we'll go there, because we're wrapping things up, and I would love to get you to at least acknowledge or push back on areas you felt you need to be pushed back on.
Well, I would say that DEI is not just about race. I'm confused why you are making it just about race, when literally I only brought it up in the context of tariffs.
What is DEI about? What does it mean? Because I don't know why you're focusing on that, but what does it mean in your world?
It's diversity, equity, inclusion. What it is to give those who have a not as equal voice or representation for a particular thing, it's to give them the voice and representation that is either morally right or is, say, strategically good. It's to make
Are you for DEI AR related work? Yes or no?
I mean, yes.
Are you currently and actively doing things out in the world to push this? What do you do? And to me, when I speak to people, especially Trump voters, and they say yes, I ask them, well, show us the budget that you have in your business or in your household income, and show us how much you're allocating towards this cause. So how much would you say on a monthly basis you allocate towards DEI causes?
I personally don't allocate any money for or against DEI causes.
Well, I could argue you do if you support certain organizations. You're actually going against DEI. So what I heard
you make political donations.
No. But you can help out nonprofits, right?
Sure.
You can do things. You can donate to charities. So that's why I was asking you. You can actually volunteer, even if you don't want to. What are you doing?
I could be volunteering. Yes, I currently do not.
So no volunteering, no cash contributions.
Correct.
So the answer to the question is you're not doing anything. You just kind of said things, but it doesn't matter unless there's some skin in the game. You see what I'm saying?
I don't understand what this has to do with the idea of policy.
Well, it has a lot to do.
Exactly. I want to hop back in here because I went on mute to hear his reasoning, and I've heard nothing but jib jabber. That's all I've heard. So I want to go back to the fact. I want to go back to the fact that, I don't know if you were in here about an hour ago when Val was giving us a master class on tariffs. Were you in here about an hour ago to get that master class on tariffs?
Yes, everything that was said was correct because I understand how tariffs work.
Okay. So again, I'm trying to wrap my head around what I'm hearing from you, and I'm trying to justify that in your vote. How in the world do you think that everything that you're saying to us, all 1.1K of us,
Yeah.
what you're saying to us,
I
but
can
yet
answer
you
what
voted for
tariffs
Trump?
are and what the
How can you
reasons are.
justify it, sir?
I'd be happy to. The purpose of a
Please
tariff.
do.
I got like 3 words in. So the
I
purpose
said
of
please
it,
do.
the purpose of a tariff is to incentivize different sourcing and or purchasing behavior. The American manufacturer or purchaser is the one who's going to pay the tariff to the American government through essentially an import tax. This is what tariffs are for the United States. It's export tariffs for the US. They're unconstitutional. We want to make companies buy things differently.
I think your concept of tariffs are completely off base, sir.
Literally everything I said is just the definition of a tariff. But
Literally, you're off base, sir.
okay. Can you
So
please
so
demonstrate
so here's
why?
the deal. Here's the deal.
He's you know what? Oh, sorry.
No, I just because I do want to have a conversation with him because
I would too, but you don't understand what a tariff is.
No. We understand what
I
the tariff
understand
is.
quite well.
I
I understand
accurately
quite
described
well.
what a tariff is, and you're saying I'm wrong. So please tell me what was wrong about what that tariff definition was and the purpose of a
So
tariff.
I am literally sitting in a parking lot right now of a dealership because I need to purchase a vehicle before Donald Trump gets in the White House. Because here's the deal. If he gives this blanket tariff that's not targeted, like he's saying that he's going to do,
That would be bad.
guess what's going to happen? That means the cost of these vehicles that we're purchasing, they're going to go skyrocket. Then that's going to have an effect on used car prices because when people can't afford new car prices, guess where they're going to go? They're going to go to the used car prices.
Here,
and it's going to drive the price up on a used car. So I'm getting this in before.
DJ, please.
But very quickly, because there's
totally understand this, sir.
Okay. So Zeus said that he has to go soon. So I just want to get to this. You said when you spoke about immigration, you said then why did Biden all of a sudden give an executive order during the election? So do you remember when Joe Biden got into the White House, the very first day, very first piece of legislation, it was an immigration bill.
Amen.
What happened to it, Dan?
The Citizenship Act of 2020.
Dan, I didn't ask you to explain it. I'm asking what happened to it.
Really, that was unacceptable for me to say what it was that you were talking about.
Because we're running out of time, Dan. That's all I'm saying.
So what I was talking about, he was trying to do immigration reform. Yes, it didn't get passed.
And
why? It wasn't bipartisan enough. Republicans and Democrats weren't able to agree. We showed that they were capable of agreeing with the Langford bill.
So Dan, hold on. When Senator Langford created a bill and got bipartisan support on it, what happened to it, Dan?
Donald Trump torpedoed it for election
And why
purposes.
is this, Dan?
Yes.
Why is this, Dan?
Because he would rather get HR 2 through when he's president and when he has the Congress.
And so Dan, you're saying everything that we're complaining about. You're saying everything.
But I have a valid criticism of Joe Biden for not just executive ordering it early on.
Do you remember why Joe Biden said
it anyways?
Dan, do you remember why Joe Biden said he didn't want to do an executive order? Do you remember what he said?
Because they are not effective ways to govern.
Because executive orders aren't law. And he wanted he wanted a law to fix the border now and completely and in perpetuity. He wanted a law that was on the books so that any other next administration that comes in can't keep going through this.
Republicans didn't want to do it. So
but you voted for this, Dan. You voted for this.
Sorry, Mom. Yes. This is wild stuff we got going on. Dan,
we're talking about the praise that you have for
Dan. Okay. No matter what you say, I just want you to know you're wrong. You are probably, and I'm assuming this isn't you just kind of being funny on TikTok and doing what people do, get in the box and just try to pretend like they got an argument, but you're really just joking. But for you to know what you know and consciously go and vote for Donald Trump is crazy. It's crazy. It makes absolutely no sense.
0 cents.
And
0
I
cents.
don't get, I'm trying to get, what are you trying to get out of this position you've taken? It's like, I know all the same things that the Democrats know, and I agree with them. And I know I'm also supporting harming Trump supporters, but I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. What is the logic in that thought process? Because I want to almost say you're not MAGA. You're insane.
Which is even
The
worse.
reason for doing it would be in the hopes of long-term change. And by the way, so MAGA in the comments, this is where the mask comes off. For this to be a good idea, you would want to be able to trust the people who are coming in to make that change. He's got 11 billionaires in his cabinet coming in. Why
And you
would
think that's a
trust
good
this
thing,
person
Dan?
to change the system?
Dan, you think that's a good thing?
I voted for Kamala Harris because I'm a democracy enthusiast. I was coming here to just test current logic and see
Dan,
how things
get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody got time for you to be playing with nobody in everybody's face. Get out of here. See, I don't like people like that. I don't like people like that. We're not living in Scooby-Doo land where we can get up here and just play these things. This is real life, Dan. This is real life. Because I don't care if you voted for Kamala, but to pull a stunt like that, you are a piece of ass. And
Lord have mercy.
I almost said it, but Mama's watching, and I didn't want to get the growl, so I had to quickly change that.
You see how I kind of had to just get to that point with him? Because I'm just going, there's no way you could be this informed and still go out and do this because you're not making solid sense. So, it is what it is. How sad. Dan, knock it off.
Yeah, because it's not a good look for someone who claims to have voted for Kamala.
Yeah, I don't know who he voted for, Nutty. To be quite honest,
and you know what?
Like I said,
it doesn't even matter because he's still a piece of shit.
I'm sorry, Mama. Oh, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. That's why I said he's insane, right? I think I'm right. I think I was right, Dan. You belong in the insane asylum.
Insane asylums.
Yeah, that's where you belong, Dan. All right. I get it. You want to get up here and talk and because some people they wait in the box. I get why that happened. You want to get in the box, you want to be heard, you want to be seen. But y'all gotta understand, there's rules to this. Come on now, don't do things. Don't come up here under false pretenses. Come on now, we're all adults. At least I like to think we are. All right.
Well, so, I'm going to buy a car. I'm going to buy a car, Zeus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. W Nutty. Thank you, Nutty.
I'm doing it under Biden.
Thank you. Get that car right now. All right, but then in the meantime and in between time, Dan, this one is for you. I don't know what you are, champ, but you're going to go to the lake of fire with the MAGA demons, all right? Because, Dan, that's a nasty thing to do on TikTok. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Let's give Dan a huge round of booze and shame for wasting our time. Earned!
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Yeah, Dan. Nice try. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see, we had one heck of Christmas was yesterday, and I didn't know what we were going to get into. But as you can see, America is still a piece of work right now. We got folks on the right like David who got in my box and refused to accept facts, data, and statistics. Val, by the way, W Val. Alter ego, please. We got these folks out here on the right who don't want to admit that they really made a disgusting and terrible decision voting for Donald Trump and wasting their vote and not electing Kamala Harris to be the next president of the United States. No matter what issues they try to say they have with Democrats, you actually can trace it right back to Donald Trump himself, and they will deny. That's why I say denial is not just a river in Egypt. These Trump supporters also won't admit it, but they're thriving under Joe Biden. W. Joe Biden. W. Kamala Harris. Yeah, you're right, Queen Fleet. Yeah, and so no. I'm not in. Only thing I'm not. No. I'm in. Oh, Ariel, you said I should be embarrassed. You said I should be embarrassed for saying lies. Ariel, come up here real quick. Ariel, please come up here real quick. I don't. This is only take 5 or 10 seconds. Ariel, please. I know you're a busy person. Probably somewhere in the middle of America, ripping the United States government off while drinking Diet Coke. Ariel, please. Yeah, Ariel. You think so? Ariel, come on up here. All right. You want to get? You want to make up lies and say things in the chat. You should be embarrassed, Ariel, for being a Trump supporter. You voted for somebody who's a felon, but you will get on this app and you'll try to demonize Kamala Harris. You'll get on this app and Zeus, what about Hunter Biden's laptop? I know you probably spent a lot of hours, Ariel, looking at Hunter Biden's laptop. Ariel, you're sick. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send Ariel to the lake of fire. Get out of here, Ariel.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
So that's Ariel, and then there's another one out there. His name is Tony Tuma. Tony, you want to come up here and defend Ariel? Yeah, you want to come up here and defend Ariel, Tony? Like I said, you know what? I assume hi Shay. Merry Christmas, Shay. By the way, Tony, Ariel. It doesn't make a difference. One MAGA demon, pretty much the same MAGA demon. Tony, you do know Ariel because you were backing her up. Come on up here, big little Tony. Come on up here. I'll help you out, Tony. I'll drill, baby, drill. We'll lower your taxes and we'll get you straightened out. All right, but you got to be willing to actually face the facts. All right, and see, as you can see, Tony doesn't want to get up here. All right, Tony, you know what I got for you? It's so easy. It's so easy, Tony.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Any more you keyboard warriors like Tony want to get in the lake of fire? Just go ahead, put a 1 in the chat. I'll take care of you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. And this goes out to all the Zeus haters out there, those like Ariel and Tony. All right, that wake up every day and worship Donald Trump and do everything in their power to put their face and their nose into Donald Trump's dirty, disgusting diaper. You folks are some sick people. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a huge round of boos and shame. Get out of here.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Tara, thank you so much for the train, Tara. All right, I got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and stay safe out here in these TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Hey, devil, go back to hell. You can go to hell. I don't care. Have a great rest of your morning. Grand Pop 7. I'll be back tomorrow. Same Zeus time, same Zeus channel. Take care, everyone. What a show, right? I mean, that went all over the place. You got people making up stuff, and then you got people just refusing to learn. Curtis, the E. Let's go. Great show. Little miss, and by the way, Cabria, thank you. I got the cash app, Cabria. Thank you so much. W Cabria in the chat. She's always looking out for her brother. All right, Queen Flea. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. Tell Zeus I said hi, Queen Flea. All right. Hey, Ariel, it's funny until it happens to you. Same thing makes you laugh, make you cry, Ariel. Mary Jean. Thank you. Tinkerbell, thank you. Little Miss, I love you too. We're going to make it, ladies and gentlemen. January 20th, I look forward to seeing a lot of Trump supporters crying. Right, Jess? I love peace. I love you too. W. Rick in the chat. January 20th, every single Trump supporter is going to be crying. And the black ones that voted for Trump, guess what I'm going to do? And you get pulled over by the police and they check your registration. Oh, your insurance is expired. Won't you come with me and get in the back of the paddy wagon? You're going to go, oh, but I voted for Trump.
And they're going to take you to the police station and then you're going to ask people to protest. I'm not protesting. You rotten hell, go to jail. Yeah, I like that. Rotten jail, go to hell. Because you made a mistake, not me. I voted for Kamala Harris. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I could care less, to be quite honest. Oh, Zeus. You know, because I got these people, they work in the United States, but they immigrated, and they don't think Donald Trump is going to get them. But when mass deportations happen, and their wife, because she didn't probably come here legally, right? You know how this happens. Oh, my wife got deported, Zeus, and we need to protest. Did you vote for Donald Trump? Well, yeah, I voted for Donald Trump. I don't care. It is what it is. You voted for that. That's not my problem. Fortunately, you should have listened to me. I don't have any real sympathy at this point. No kumbaya, nope. Right, your Social Security benefits. Your Social Security benefits, you can kiss those goodbye. But you know one thing we got to do, ladies and gentlemen, before we get up out of here.
Kamala Harris's war on Pennsylvania.
We got to drill, baby, drill. Curtis, are you there? You there, Curtis?
We will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill.
You know what we got to do.
We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling so deep. We're going to be, for these guys, we're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes to insane asylums.
Uh-oh.
You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack, frack, drill.
Let's go! Hey!
You know she's gonna bang.
Gotta be able to drill.
Up there she was against fucking against all the stuff and
hey.
All the stuff and then all the stuff and then all the time.
Hey, Gabriel, that boy, I like fracking very much.
They always go.
Hey.
They always go back to what they want. They always go back.
She's a radical.
She's a radical.
Left mark, hey.
She can't help it.
And we're gonna end that. And we will and drill, baby, drill.
We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep. We're gonna be for these guys. We're gonna drill. We're gonna take out so much money. We're gonna pay down our debt.
Follow me, Jess.
Taxes deep, insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill. We gonna frack, frack. Hey!
Do you know how to drill like that? A lot of us do. Democrats know how to drill.
Insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. Okay, they say, why would he mention Hannibal Lecter?
Oh.
You're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill, drill, drill.
Hey, you better hit it like that.
Lower your taxes. Deep insane asylum. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal.
Hey.
Drill, drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drill ready. Drill, we're gonna drill that Lecter.
Hey.
Drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Time, drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time.
We're gonna lower your taxes.
Deep insane asylum.
Oh my goodness. It says your broadcast has received the status of dangerous. It is necessary to end it. Well, you know what? That's what happens when you drill, baby, drill like we do over here. Ladies and gentlemen, take care and stay safe out here in these TikTok streets. All right, it's dangerous. I get it. I'm out of here.